Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the February 4th, 2026 meeting of the Hyde Park Planning Board. If you could please stand with me and say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We're going to start with continued public hearings. Our first item on the agenda is a continued public hearing for rent-a-space self-storage. The applicant is not here this evening. They're still working on finalizing their final set of plans. They have asked us to adjourn this public hearing to February 18th. But first, may I get a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved. Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to speak to the rent-a-space self-storage application? No? Like I said, we're getting close to putting forth a resolution for conditional approval, and we're just cleaning up some of the last items to make it as clean a resolution as possible. Is there anything else to mention, Tad?
I did do a sign evaluation, and we've worked out signs. It will need a relaxation of standards to some extent, but we've worked that out.
Thank you. And that was one of the last items that they needed to furnish, and I know that they're close to resolving the landscaping in between their property and Scenic Hudson.
Good.
So it's all very good. Bonnie, did you have any comments in this?
Not this time.
Thank you. Mr. Sotero, no? Ms. Polidoro, any comments on rent-a-space?
No.
Thank you. Mr. Tuttle, any comments?
No comments.
Mr. Waters?
No comments.
Mr. Veith?
No comment.
Mr. Oliver?
No comments.
Ms. Lee?
No comments except to say thank you for working so hard with Scenic Hudson on that boundary.
And Mr. Garcia?
No comments.
Okay. There being no comments and no public to speak, may I get a motion to adjourn the public hearing to February 18th, 2026, per the applicant's request?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Our next item on the agenda is another continued public hearing. This time, this is for Camp Victory Lake Auditorium. Let's see. May I get a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
So we still have not received updated plans for this project. This project really is only about the auditorium that needed to be brought into compliance, along with some of the eating areas, the open air eating areas. But they say they will be getting us the new materials shortly. Tad, any comments on this? No. I don't think any of us have any comments because we have no plans. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to speak to this application? Come on up. If you could sit in front of the microphone and let us know who you are. Whichever one.
Okay. Hi, I'm Danielle Antonucci. I live on 261 Cardinal Road, directly across from Victory Lake.
Cardinal Road, you said?
Cardinal Road, yep. So I understand that this is particularly for the auditorium tonight. My concerns are specific to sections 9 and 14 of the master plan. I have three main concerns with this plan that include an entrance and an exit on Cardinal Road that's directly across from my property. My concerns are property damage, traffic and safety, and quality of life. So there are wetlands across from my property which parallels Cardinal Road, and it's parallels Cardinal Road, and that drains directly onto my property through a culvert pipe underneath the road, which is the property of the town of Hyde Park. Any construction that might raise the water level of this wetland will flood my property and cause property damage. As it is today, whenever it rains, This culvert pipe floods my property and directs water directly onto my land, and if anything adds water to that, it will have severe property damage. My second concern is traffic. As you may not know, I was struck by a vehicle and hospitalized in December of 2022 while walking my dog across from my house at the exact location where Victory Lake is proposing that entrance and exit. This is extremely concerning from a safety perspective for the following reasons. Victory Lake hosts thousands of attendees who are unfamiliar with this area. They're not from Hyde Park. And currently, during the events, we see people who have missed a turn and are lost and are driving distracted. They're trying to correct their route. They're not paying attention. This mass influx of vehicles, along with the traffic issues stemming from the Cardinal Road junkyard, is a nightmare waiting to happen. The Cardinal Road junkyard only enters and exits Cardinal Road from Quaker Lane. They do not use Carmel entrance anymore. Those trucks are so large they can barely pass each other and often stop in front of my house in order to even let passenger vehicles through. So now imagine those large trucks and a line of cars barely squeezing by on this narrow road that's meant for residents and small businesses. Third is quality of life. The amount of traffic that'll be coming and going from the proposed Victory Lake entrance and exit directly across from my driveway will likely cause issues for me to be able to enter my home and exit my home. Those headlights will also shine directly into my home as there's a hill, and throughout the duration of their events will be very disruptive to my family. And additional noise this will cause will disrupt our peace. So Victory Lake, as you know, is a tax-exempt entity, and I'm urging that you consider the best interests of your tax-paying residents of Cardinal Road, and please do not approve that entrance and exit for Victory Lake.
Thank you very much for coming out tonight and for your very well thought out
Thank you.
comments. We will, as we execute the master plan, we'll
Thank
keep
you.
these in mind. Thank you. Is there anybody else who would like to speak to this application?
How you doing? I'm James Sheedy, 171 Cardinal Road. I know you noted that it was about the auditorium, but it does have on the agenda for the master plan. So the 50 parking spots that they want to propose to build on Cardinal Road does not jive with what we're dealing with in the neighborhood with the traffic coming from the junkyard. And you know, they want 50 cars to put in there. There's going to be 100 trips. There's going to be 50 coming in and 50 going out. The junkyard also, they got about 50 runs a day going in and out of there, and that's just them. That doesn't include the other vendors, other people from the local area that are coming up there to do business. The road was not meant for this type of traffic, and you guys have to do something about it. Somebody does. And there are ways to do it. There's enforcement, and the lack of it, we need to see something.
Understood.
Thanks.
Anything else?
That's it.
Thank you for coming out and for speaking. We appreciate it. Is there anybody else that would like to speak to this application? There being none, when did the applicant ask for this to be adjourned to?
I think we discussed March 4th.
Ah, here it is. Yep. Right. Okay, may I get a motion to adjourn the public hearing to March 4th?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Motion carries.
Also, I think you clarified at the beginning, Chairwoman, but this is phase 0, not phase 8 and 9. Those will come back at some point in the future.
Correct,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah, it's a pre-phase. or
Yeah.
Do they call them prequels now? Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Our next item on the agenda, there are no more public hearings for the evening. Our next item on the agenda is the CIA Hotel and Villas. Good evening.
Good evening.
Welcome back.
I'd like to first welcome and introduce Carolyn Zor. Carolyn works with Michael Gotti at Gensler. In fact, Carolyn is really the brains behind the entire operation, and we
I
figured
thought so.
it's time you meet the person who's been originating all these drawings and everything.
Yeah.
Right. So,
Nice to meet you, Carol.
Thank you. It's nice to meet you too.
want to thank you again for various meetings that we had with some of you and staff to address some of the outstanding issues. I know they were very productive, and we tried to give you as much as we could in the package before the meeting, so we would have something to discuss and you would see the results. Hope that for the most part this satisfies some of these outstanding issues, and I hope we leave today with possibly the authorization to prepare a resolution on the site plan, but that remains to be seen, I'm sure. So, question. We're prepared to do a very quick overview of the COCOs, the landscaping, and a couple of the various sheets. It's pretty much a review of what we provided you.
Right, yeah, some of us reviewed the big set
Right.
before the meeting, but
So
I think that would be
so
great.
you would like us to
Yes,
do that?
might as
Okay.
well.
Okay, so let me...
A lot of activity just in the last 2 weeks, so.
Let me try to do it quick. Let's try to get it quickly, because I'm sure you all have questions and comments that you want to offer. So we're going to start with Carolyn
can do it.
on
Do you
the
know how to do it?
COCO, and then Rick will take the landscaping. Then we have, there's lighting. We don't have the lighting person here, but Chris is up to speed in that, and we can go from there. Yeah, you just go through those.
Yeah, it's no, it's just a couple pages. Okay. Hi, everyone. It's very nice to meet you. Thank you for having me. I know you know Michael very well, so I'll try and I'll try and do my best to stand in, but there really is not another stand-in. So we've made a couple updates based on recent conversations and some comments that we heard. The first update, that's the kind of primary thing, is that we have updated the north elevation of the retail and service building. I'm pointing to the image here down on the bottom. The elevation has been adjusted. So we have articulated the roof line and the eave to match the articulation of the building footprint.
Can you blow that portion up?
Sure. How do
I think so, right?
Okay. I have the previous image. Oops, I didn't like that. Okay. This was the elevation that I believe everyone saw the last time you met. And if I kind of scroll down and to the right here, this is the adjustment to that elevation, that north elevation here. So you can see we've adjusted the roof line and articulated it to match the articulation of the building. It's, you know, I think our team feels that the previous version of this was also very successful and is something that architecturally was really clean and nice. But, you know, we understand that there's feedback on that, and as being, you know, kind of wanting to be good stewards of the project, we're presenting this as another option, basically.
It actually is our code, it's a requirement of code. Has nothing to do with aesthetics per se.
Okay.
Our code, it's a you shall do this. Anytime you have a very long building, you shall.
You shall.
You shall.
We shall.
You shall.
Another adjustment to this elevation is that the building has shifted to the south a bit, which allows for some landscaping in front of the building and some taller trees and some nice kind of design in front of the building, in front of that elevation.
What do you call that, where you notch the roof there?
Just articulation.
Articulation.
The roof line is called the eave, and what we've done is articulated, essentially, the eave.
We call it a jog.
A jog,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, sure.
Step. Step it in the jog.
And then the only other update, I have to zoom back out, on these pages here is we have added a fascia on the kind of street-facing elevation of the retail portion of the building. We have added a signage band, basically, here, so that all of the signage on the building can be per code and uniformly placed on those 3 bands that you see on top of the glazing. And then, in addition to that, the only other updates in this set is that we have provided the plan and the elevations of the covered canopy for the golf carts. And we've also included the shop drawings and the elevations for the bridge that will go over the Marici Kiln.
Okay, so I think those were the issues that were discussed and covered in various side meetings on the architectural and COCOs. Why don't we go through the number of these, and then you can...
Okay.
Okay,
Yep.
so Rick, do you want to just touch on the landscape?
Yeah, you are. If you go back, sorry. Do you want to drive?
Okay, big move, big move. We added the building lot lines, okay, right? In red, right? So, Tad's happy. Right? There, we added all the building lot lines throughout. This one, is this one? This is, yeah, you can see it. Yeah. Right? So you can actually quantify, right? You saw it, right? Okay, so she's happy. She's smiling. So we did that, and we also added a lot more trees in some areas to clarify some things, right? Because we were moving some things around. We're well over 2,100 trees now, not including the whips, which are, you know, the 500 to 700 range, right, alone, right? So there's a significant amount of trees here. We added a number of notes that I think Tad should be happy with. We did put all the mixes on a sheet for you, so you see all the southern tier hydroseed mixes, and we've been using that company for many, many years. They make, you know, wonderful, you know, mixes for wetlands and then kind of upland materials too. You know, again, we're trying to reforest. We're trying not to be contrived. And though we will have, as we note in our notes, in our responses point by point to you, we note that we have this goal to use a lot of native shrubs and ground cover material around the common buildings, right? But it will still be done in a much more, in massings in a much more natural way. Again, it's not foundation planting, you know, so it's not your typical planting plan. It's a reforestation of the site, right? Let's see what else we did. I think that was all of it. But we put a couple of notes in about the soil, because you remember your concern. You know, our feeling is, you know, we've walked the site many, many times, and we've seen the fissures of rock, and you know, when we dig, things might fall apart, and we might have a hole, right? We might have good soil or bad soil. So we built enough flexibility in our notes to cover everything, I think, and I think Ty will be happy with that, because you know, we know we're going to find areas that are all of a sudden a little wetter than we thought, and we'll substitute those other species out. We did add quite a few more varieties of native species in the event that we can't procure the ones we want, or as many as we want. We have opportunities to switch things up, and I think that was one of Tad's recommendations, so we did that. So I think we hit everything for you. Should be good.
I see you're nodding. There may be some comments, though.
Yeah, but we could always have comments, but we just wanted to hear, we got all the points.
Yes, that was what the goal was that we were trying to achieve. Something that came up after the meeting that Cynthia mentioned, there are no white pine trees, and the eagles nest in the mature white pines.
We added them.
Did you?
We added them.
Okay, thank you.
So that's what we call a happy accident, because I said to my guys, we should add some white pines, even though, white pines have a bad rap. They were the parking lot tree. So we really try to stay away from it. But if you plant them like in a forest, they're really quite beautiful, right? But we have added them. We know it's a great habitat. So we heard you somehow.
We're like family. You now start to anticipate what we're saying.
It was a cursed tree.
I like
Put
that.
the white pines in. You're screening the parking lot, right? Rob, screen the parking lot, white pines.
Well, thank you, and I want to thank you and my colleagues for getting together and meeting and figuring out some of these major details and what it is that will help. It's going to help you ultimately, because at the end of the day, if Tad has to try to figure out some hieroglyphics, and it's going to take forever to get sign off.
No, I'll be there.
Yep.
Well, I'll be there walking.
Yep,
But
yep.
we'll get there. I mean,
Yep.
it's a different type of site, so it needed, quite a few more notes to kind of cover everything, and I think we're there.
Or almost there. You're
Close.
probably
I'd
very
like to-
close.
yeah, there. But,
responsible for the Eagles, though.
Okay, we'll do our best.
But we also appreciate all the notes, because the notes actually,
They help you,
push it
too.
along, right? So.
Yeah.
Chris?
Chris, you wanna go?
So I'll touch upon two particular items. One was the new Phase 1A tree felling plan. It identifies the area in the vicinity of the existing cocos in the former archaeologically sensitive area on the southern portion of the site. These are two phases of construction that are looking to initiate in the spring of this year, with the goal being having the opportunity to purely fell the trees, no equipment, similar to what we had done last year, identifying the limits of disturbance, outlining it with the construction fence, having Tad and town engineer Pete come out and inspect it, approve it, and then allowing them to proceed. That was the Phase 1A plan that we provided. With regards to the lighting, the consultant, bulk of the comments were related to the high illuminations in the back of a number of the villas. In some cases, they reduce the wattage of the lights. As you can see, they've significantly reduced the illuminations behind those units. Additionally, there is some light fixtures that were provided to the rear of the event barn that was requested. They currently weren't shown on the plans. Additionally, they also revisited the lighting at the hotel to bring down the illumination directly behind the hotel so it didn't overlap into the conservation easement. Those were the extent of the overall changes. There was also a request that came in indirectly, not within one of your consultant's comments, but we provided a lighting table on each particular sheet, which outlines the fixtures, the heights, the heads, and the wattages of each particular light. So it's easier to follow with the symbols and the table now.
And can I just ask you a question about the tree felling? There were two areas, right?
Sure.
The one behind Coco's and then one
Yes.
closer to where the bridge is, I think, on
Yes.
site?
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, I
Excellent.
think that's an overview. As you all also probably saw, we did a point-by-point response to Bonnie's comments, and you have those also. So,
Okay. Excellent. No, thank you. There was a lot of work done, and I just want to go around and see what everybody's comments are on those major, it's architecture, lighting, tree felling, and see if anybody else has other comments as well. Ted?
No, I'm fine, thank you.
Tad, let me just ask you, though, about the landscaping plan, because as we were looking at it, we were kind of flipping around and going, okay, I mean, there's lot lines, right, which you asked for. But then we hit the lighting plan, and they took the lighting plan and they did a grid that showed, and then you have a sheet for each of the grids that shows all the detail. And so we were like, ooh, that's really nice. Would that help you with landscaping if they did that? Or is it really
I
lots?
think that's what we're working with. I think that's what we're working with is a type of unit and a landscape variety. Yeah.
So with our building permit application, we'll have.
That will come in.
That lot will be, that landscaping will be identified.
Oh, okay, because it's, as you build the units, it's lot by lot.
And at that point, what we did is we added those red lines, so now you'll have apples to apples. You'll have that, and you'll see that lot, and then you'll see a blow-up of it for the building permit. That particular lot that's now in the site plan.
Okay.
In summary, it delineates all the amenities and improvements on that lot, so that Tad can check off everything before issuing a CO.
As long, we just need Tad to be happy on this because she's
I
just
think it's
a
to the
wealth of
point where
experience.
it'll work.
Good.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what we're looking for. Ms. Franson?
So I did go through some of the comments. I still have questions. As an example, we typically on the planting plans have notes that say, if the landscape's dying, you have to replace it. Replace it in kind unless the town approves a substitute. And we say town, we're not talking about small, we're talking about a tree or something, that Tad would review it. And also that the plantings in general are going to be maintained for the life of the use. The response is that there's a contractor's guarantee for 2 years. That's not what we're asking for. We're asking for this to be maintained. The expectation for the plantings to, grow and fill in the site. So I'll look through these. I have, a handful. Looks like all the lighting comments for the most part were updated. But just a couple that I don't think hit the mark, but they're just a few, that being one of them.
Okay,
Okay?
excellent. Mr. Sotero?
Well, I'm not going to comment on landscaping and the lighting, but so a couple other things that we've been working on. Chris had mentioned that his office has been working with Tad and I. I've gone through the stormwater pollution prevention plan. We had a meeting, went over my comments. Chris and his staff have updated, the SWIP. We've gone back and forth a little bit since then, and I'm going to finish reviewing it tomorrow. And also the other thing is they also had clarified the construction phasing plans. If you remember, those plans were in color, and there was a lot of overlapping, like colors, so it was kind of hard to figure out which phase was which.
Which shade of red were they
talking
talking about?
But they've done a
Yes.
better job stripping down some of the information so that it's much clearer to understand which phase that you're looking at and which phases have already been completed. So those plans were just delivered yesterday, right? So we'll take a look at those also. So as far as, the engineering, like items go, I think that, we're honing in on those, and we'll go along with, whenever we're going to consider a conditional.
Okay, great. Go ahead.
Sorry, just a question for clarification. So in the comment and response letter, one of the responses to comment says a final update sheet will be resubmitted with the covered cart parking, as an example. Is that something that's now part of this plan set, or it will be in the future as a approval condition?
Yeah, no, there were ones we put in the plan set, but when we said will be updated, there's always been this issue of timing
Yes.
on these. And
Yes.
what we were indicating is we wanted you to see it. Once it's deemed acceptable, then we would formally update everything for Cynthia's records. That was that's what was indicated. But what you saw here will be added, the cart, the rendering on the cart will be what's added to the set.
I think what Michael's referring to is if the board finds what we've submitted acceptable, they'll be incorporated into the larger plan set when we resubmit it.
And the whole thing will
The
get?
whole thing will, yeah. So
Okay.
we've only resubmitted pieces of it, but they'll get incorporated into the whole package.
Okay, thank you.
In the past, it's been discouraged for us to piecemeal it.
Understood. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that, since there was a plan set that just came, that this is still something that's coming down the road.
Right.
Well, especially since we're trying to wind things up,
Yeah.
so
Yes.
we don't want to turn it, yeah.
Yeah.
But I thank you
Right.
for clarifying that
Right.
they will be incorporated.
Yeah, sure.
Ms. Polidoro?
Hi, so I think everyone saw the applicant received an area variance or a number of variances.
Yep.
But one of them negates the need, I'm just gonna take this. One of them negates the need for the planning board to consider a waiver of the parking area. You still have site plan review authority over the parking area and what it looks like, but you don't need to consider the landscape reduction from a waiver perspective. Other than that, once Tad is happy with the phasing and the notes, I don't have any legal concerns.
Excellent. All right, I'm going to switch it up a little bit. I'm going to start from the inside and ask Mr. Veith for comments.
I had a chance to look at the lighting. Excellent job. Right colors, right heights. Really good. Thank you for doing that. So no issues on the lighting and no other comments.
Thank you. Mr. Waters?
I saw the change in the eave, the articulation for the eave. I like the original, the continuous eve, and there's many reasons for it, and I can explain it further if people would like, but it's like a 2-page sheet that I wrote. I don't know if I want to really go into it, other than the reasoning behind it is the site itself, all the other structures in the site have a lot of horizontal details to it. And we added the articulation on the walls so that it would give a more of a vertical that works with the horizontal. So, and by doing the perimeter, following the perimeter of the structure, the walls, the load-bearing walls, it kind of changes that dynamic. And the pitch of the roof is shallow enough. And I also want to commend them that you actually had a pitched roof on that structure, which is, I believe it's 80 feet or plus wide. So to do that is a feat. You don't usually see it. You usually see a flat roof on something like that. In this case, it's a pitched roof, and I just think it works better with that. Plus, we had discussed that the trees in the back of the section, there's a third that will be covered. Will cover that actual structure that is going to be existing. Now, there was a comment made about, well, what happens if the adjoining property owner decides to cut those trees, and you see it. Well, by that time, Rick's trees, I'm sure he's going to get quality trees and put them in there. Those are going to be big enough that are going to break that eve line anyway.
So, and this takes the trees out.
And that
this view took the trees out.
Took the trees out.
Remember that we took the photo of the existing. We
Yep.
photoshopped them in. We took them out in this view.
Yeah, in this view. So you're seeing the length of the structure, but I just think, I personally think that the clean line is better. So that's where I am. And if I have to go into more specifics about it, I'd like to be able to come back to my Bible that I wrote here.
We agree.
And that was pretty much it.
Okay.
I like the adding of the fascia for the signage. That's that was the right thing to do, so that we're not attaching it to the structure, to timbers that are there, so that remains a nice detail. And then I believe Rick supplied the plants, and there was also the fencing that we saw, and the horizontal fencing is in there, which I liked. And I believe, we didn't talk about it, but I believe the structure might have moved. Did it move that, an additional to the south?
Yep.
So that we have even more planting space, I believe, and more
Over
room?
10 feet.
Over 10 feet.
Over 10, yeah, okay.
To the edge, yeah.
Yeah.
10 feet.
Yeah, so that's a big plus, too.
Yeah.
That gives you more room in there. So overall, I just like the clean lines. And in this case, with that particular back of house, less is more.
Yeah.
Thank you. Mr. Tuttle?
I guess I'll start where Rob left off there on the building. Man, codes are blunt instruments, and they're designed to prevent against sort of the worst design, but at the same time they can be very limiting for good design. I prefer the way it was, and I understand that like our primary job here is to apply the code to projects, be it for poor design or good design. We have to apply the code. I would love it if we could find a way to keep what was. I think it was a better design, but also my understanding, and I wonder if you can speak to this a little bit. That I got the impression from Michael and Rob, you might know more about this, that there is the building type you are using, it's a modular or something like that, it's sort of limiting in what you can do to it, right?
Pre-engineered.
Okay.
Yeah, it's called a Butler building, and it sort of comes like a kit of parts.
Yep, okay, yep.
Yeah, and with each change you make, it becomes an engineering.
That's right.
It's a big thing,
Sure.
because it's load-bearing things that have to change.
Yep, right. So I just wanted to make sure that everybody was aware of that is sort of a limiting factor in here in terms of how creative you can get in how you try to address the issue the code is presenting here.
Yeah, I think the adjustments that we've made and that we've shown, it's like we're working within the boundaries of this kit of parts that we have. It's kind of like Legos. You can build some things and you can't build other things. And so we've made as many or as much adjustment as we think we can with the system as it's engineered, as Scott said. So when we start to break down the pieces and change the engineering, it gets challenging in terms of what that pre-engineered system can bear.
So I'm curious to hear what others on the board think and what
Sure.
we have to apply the code. So I appreciate the effort that was made there to try to make the building do that for sure. Something I noticed while looking over some of the sheets is just the differences in the trails from what was previously proposed to now. Just throughout the site, there's some changes in the routing of the trails, it seemed. Just in particular, looking at the architectural sheets that were submitted, the first page, the campus master plan and proposed site plan. And if I'm understanding that correctly, I wonder if we could get just sort of a summary of changes, a very brief summary of changes to the trails.
I think, we could do that. I'm not sure what would have changed. The only thing that would have changed is some of the trails that we moved within the site to go between buildings.
Okay.
So that's the only thing. Everything else should have stayed the same. Everything in the wetlands, all that, we haven't touched that in years.
Yeah, okay.
Right? Years.
When I look at, maybe I'm misunderstanding, when I look at the architectural sheets submission that was turned in, there's a previous site master plan 2024 approved submission, and then the proposed site master plan, and it seems like there are some real differences in
these
the
two.
Yeah, those two. Am I misunderstanding what I'm looking at here?
I think it's
these things right here.
Yeah.
That's when it goes over the wetlands. It's a raised platform, so it's
Sure. Yeah,
different.
understood.
It's the same path.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then on the north end, are there any changes there?
There's back here. There's some change. minor changes back here because these buildings changed. They moved.
Yeah, was there a proposed connection to the north that was shown on that previous one that is now?
There's a connection to the existing trails here.
Yep, okay.
Right, that's still there.
That's still there.
Yeah, so.
Below the arrow.
Further down there.
Yeah.
And then further in there, okay.
But you're right, some of these things move slightly, very slightly, because buildings move, grading change.
Stormwater
system too. And the stormwater, right, so.
Sure, okay. Can you remind me is that, in terms of phasing, are you intending to do trails sort of as you go, or is that going to be the final stage? What's the staging for trails?
Well, right now,
Microphone.
it would come at the end.
Michael, give her a microphone.
Right now, they would be roughed in early on, but the final trail opening wouldn't be done until we can actually open the site to the public.
Yeah, sure.
It's going to be in construction fencing for a very long time.
Yeah.
So our plan isn't to do a lot of work. It's to rough them in now and then do the final bridges, I don't want to call them bridges, walkways at the end so that they're fresh and ready to go when we open the site to the public.
Nice, okay.
If it's in that phase that we're working on, we'll rough them in, just like Lou said, and then towards the end of the project, then we'll finalize.
But they'll be open with the opening of the resort.
Yeah, okay.
Fully complete.
Great, thank you. Only other thing, just I appreciate all the work on the lighting. The tables were very helpful, and the improvements that were made to the lighting plan are great. The court lighting, no issue with the levels or anything, and like it's frankly as low as it should as it could possibly be on the courts. The amount of backlighting on the fixtures was still surprising to me. I'm not sure. It's just looking at the where the poles are placed and such. And again, I'm just thinking about what you're seeing from Route 9 and that. I don't know if Chris wants to address that.
Trying to do a balancing act, from the bug rating perspective, they were able to get a uplighting and glare rating of 0, but unfortunately, we couldn't find a light that had a lower backlighting. So what we did in this particular case, actually, no. But the backlighting I think that you're referring to is what's coming at the northeast corner of the Padel courts.
Yeah.
And I had sent a response, or we had gotten a comment about this last week. We actually have a 3 or 4 foot berm to the back of that. So what you're seeing is hitting the grade, but in front of that is a berm that's 3 or 4 feet high.
Okay.
And that's heavily landscaped with coniferous species that are ranging from 12 to 16 feet in height in that particular area. We also have a number of what's the species that you have going around the fence? That you have going around the pickleball? Yeah.
Oh, we have a lot of evergreens around there.
Yeah, the particular
There's
species.
some cedars, we could put some white pines in there.
Yeah. There's hemlocks and then,
Hemlocks,
there's hemlocks, but the same species that are used to surround the court. There's groupings of them to the north as well that provide the screening so that when you are traveling southbound and catching that view coming out of your right side of your, so we feel we've done our best to obstruct and any backlighting that you're going to see at that low level. It's like I said, you'll have a berm in front of it, and here's where your backlighting, the illumination you're seeing there.
Okay, great. Thank you for clarifying that. That's good. Nice job, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you. Good questions. Mr. Oliver.
So first, on the landscape plan, thank you for the level of detail, and I like the fact that you gave substitutions if you can't procure, because I've been on these sites where, these type of jobs where it's just not available, and the quantity, you can't get all the quantities, so I think that was really smart and will alleviate some issues down the road. I think the lighting plan, I agree with Chris with, achieving the best possible outcome with the lighting for the courts and the landscaping. I think will block everything. One question about, and I brought this up during our seeker review, and I think it's better fit here for our site plan review. with the size and everything with the back of the house building. I know you had presented a internal layout during our seeker review. Can you add that to our site plan? Just so we have a, it's a large building and there's already limited parking on the site. Last thing I want to see is something change with that building, just because, for the size of the site and the amount of users, I do kind of feel like it's a large back of house operation. And obviously I'm not in the industry, so I don't understand exactly what you're going to do there, but I'd like it to be part of the plan set so we can reference that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Either into the architectural deck but in the file plan set.
Okay, great, thank you.
For sure.
That's all.
Great,
Thank you.
thanks.
Ms. Lee?
Well, thank you guys. I commend you. There's been a lot of work since our offline meeting. And if Tad's happy then we're happy.
Well said.
And for what it's worth, the horizontal line on the north side of Coco's obviously is a little bit more favorable, but we are working with code like Chairwoman said. So I really appreciate you taking the time and figuring something out that is sort of a happy medium, because I know it's not easy to change your projects. That's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Gercio?
As far as the roof line, we asked you to change, as far as the roof line, she's moving it down. As far as the roof line, I guess I don't have any preference either way. We asked you to change it, to give you articulation, and you did it. And now to say we want it straight is kind of counterproductive, but you can't really make it straight because you need the articulation, and I'm not really sure what you can do. But and the only interesting thing is in the rendering, in the picture, you show cars parked there along the north side. Okay, which I thought, because the building north of that is not yours, obviously, and the parking lot's not yours. So I'm not sure how that's going to work out, It kind of gives the illusion that people are going to park and walk into the building there. Right?
Yeah.
So there might be some issues there as far as with the people that own the other building. I'm not really sure how that.
I think the intent of that parking was just to demonstrate what
Just
some
to
parking
demonstrate,
could
yeah.
look like from the adjoining parcel next to ours, because
Yeah.
there is parking that does take place along there.
Yeah. No, I'm just pointing it out. There's not much you can do. Yeah, they do the fireworks.
They do the fireworks right there. They do
There's not much you
the
can do with
trees right
parking.
there.
There's not much you can do about it. But it just was something I was just focused on. And that's it for me. As far as, I didn't hear anybody talk about this areas where you're going to want to cut down trees early. I don't have a problem with that. So, other than that, I have nothing else to add.
Thank you. Okay, so you've heard a number of comments. I have a couple of questions. There is a rectangular box directly west of the back of house building. We were trying to figure out what it is. Is that a generator?
No, that's mechanicals.
In the driveway?
Oh, in the driveway.
In the driveway? Right off the loading dock?
There is an island in the back of this building, and we have the generator, and we're looking to put other
Because we
mechanicals.
could see what looked like bollards.
Yeah, and our intent is to put other mechanicals in that island there so that it's not on the, so we've eliminated it from.
Okay, so that's a dual,
Yeah, we've eliminated it from going on the sides of a building, we've put it in the back of the building where it's all screened. And it won't impact any of the potential
You don't have
future
to put 'em up
access
on the
either.
roof.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
And that doesn't affect your future?
The future access, no, we did it in a way that it goes
It's
around the route.
directly off the,
Yep.
it's part of the building
Correct.
almost, yeah.
Especially with the dollars. 'cause they're
Okay,
not
thank
like
you. The golf cart canopy, I'm noticing that it appears to be open air. So what happens in the winter? We've just had a nice storm, lots of wind. Huh? I'm sorry.
I think we're at 48 inches.
Yeah. Well, I'm just thinking, do you not use the golf carts in the winter, or, I mean,
Well.
are they gonna have to go in and,
They'll be used in the winter. In the unfortunate incident that we get a snow, they'll have to clean them off, much like a car lot or anywhere else. It doesn't make sense for us to enclose that. Then it becomes a more complicated building and more prone to damage. So it's better that we leave it open and it stops rain and sunlight from hitting the vehicles, but, you know, we're going to get leaves and we're going to get some things in there, and
Yeah,
we're going to
leaves.
have to clean it out.
okay. I was just, it looked more of a southern style than a northern style. It's, and we were starting to believe that we weren't going to have much snow ever again, but this year has completely turned that on its head. I really appreciate all the work that everybody has done in the last 2 weeks to get us to this point. I have not heard any major issues from anybody. You know, it makes the conditions list much shorter, I would hope. I also have no issue with the tree felling. I applaud you again for making this a code compliant building. Architecture is very subjective, and, you know, from my perspective, without that articulation, it really does just look like a warehouse to me. I can drive through Poughkeepsie. And if you go in the city of Poughkeepsie, there's a lot of residential right next to old sites that are just, yeah, exactly. And so that helps to make it just a little less warehouse looking to me. So thank you very much for doing that. Anything else? Nope, I don't think we have anything else. So what are the next steps?
Could you?
No, we're not going to approve it tonight.
We wanted Michael Gotti to say
You beat me
that.
too, yeah, Michael, put Michael. I've worn that out. I guess the next steps would be respectfully to authorize staff to prepare a draft resolution, like is what we did with the secra. However, we will not be prepared to present that resolution to you at your next meeting, the 18th. It would be March 4th. The town board has scheduled a special meeting for the 24th to vote on the rezoning. So obviously you can't act until they vote on the rezoning. So that's been scheduled for a special meeting on the 24th.
You're giving us a little extra time?
Wow.
Wow.
It's the new year.
Wow, it's a whole new year. Yeah.
I've turned a new leaf. I'm chill.
Okay, no, I mean that should all work. That should all work. Let me ask Ms. Polidoro for her thoughts on a resolution by the 4th.
I mean, I think it's doable. We're going to need a full copy of the current plan for the office that we can reference in the resolution.
So we're gonna need a full set. Everything's gonna get incorporated.
Everything that we've discussed, we will provide
Yeah, one
and
set
work with
only.
One
Cynthia.
big set
Just
to look at.
one set.
Right.
Just one set.
Okay. One completely new, we'll work with Cynthia.
One large set.
Yeah.
And which addresses, the comments, the remaining technical comments.
So that'll give us plenty of time to go through and
Yeah.
detail any of the conditions that need to happen.
And-
Put in the tree felling,
And
make
that
sure
work,
that's all
and
tied
then
in.
at the 4th, respectfully, we'd probably also have to vote on the subdivision.
Oh.
We do, and the plat we should make sure that it's, a separate document because it's going to have to be signed at a separate
Well,
time.
like we did last time. We'll work with you. We worked with you. I think it was part of the package. We'll work together on it.
Right.
it's going to be signed at a different time, so I think it's easier to keep it a separate document.
They're going to be on different timelines.
Okay.
They should be separate.
And that works because if the 4th, we get the resolution, then we have those 2.5 weeks to do the tree felling before they close the Indiana bat. And we'll also be obviously working on our conditions.
Okay.
So that would be fantastic.
All right.
We really appreciate it.
That sounds,
I had to leave the room for a minute. What was the final vote on the roof articulation?
we're going with it.
Okay.
It's a close vote. We will do what you direct us to do.
Change the color.
Any other questions, Victoria? I want to make sure the consultants have everything you need to help us.
I mean, again, this just came in, I didn't look at it yesterday, but I think we're in good shape, and we'll work through what we need to.
Yeah, getting that plan set will help us to knock down and just.
You will have it in
detail
the
and list and check them
next
off.
day or two.
Well, I'm just concerned that Pete said he's still working on a final review of the stormwater and that phasing plan. So until he gets his final comments on those to Chris, I don't want you to send it too fast, just in case you have something.
Conditions, if I have anything. I mean, I have, Chris brought a copy of the phasing plans, yesterday, so I'm going to look at them, tomorrow, and I'll go over them, with Tad. So, I mean, I'm pretty confident anything I have could be just put into the conditions.
Okay.
So, I don't want to have a lot of pressure on me that I got to get stuff done, and then they got to make a revision, so.
Again, we're at that point.
Just saying, that's all.
We don't want to put pressure on your feet. But yeah, I mean, we're at the point now where we can as long as we can cleanly identify the conditions, that's all we need.
I'm not sure we need to show up on the 18th. We will, but I'm not.
Oh, we have a public hearing scheduled.
Yeah.
So we can just adjourn and continue.
Adjourn it to the 4th.
Yep.
And have it and close it. Okay.
Your cars are going to automatically want to just.
No need to bring your army.
I was going to bring my grandkids and everyone. They want to see this. They want to see what Grandpa's been doing.
They're going to be.
They don't believe me.
Scintillating for children.
Yes.
No, keep them. Let them think that it's something really exciting.
They have looked at the plans,
Okay.
and now with these magnet sets, what do they build? We want to build resorts, Grandpa.
Oh, cool.
But we still haven't worked out
right.
the roof lines.
Okay, then.
All right. Well, thank
No,
you
that sounds
very
good.
much.
Thank you.
This was
Thank you,
great.
everybody, for all your work.
Thank you for all your hard
Thank
work.
you.
And getting
Nice
this
to meet you.
All right.
Thank you.
Nice meeting you, Carol.
Nice to meet you.
Did you put the flash drive back in?
Which one?
The one you took out?
The ones that are planning on it?
That's the
Yeah,
one.
that's ours.
Thank you, Jen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is Caris Memory Care at Belfield.
We've lost some board members. Oh, he's switching it out anyway. He's just putting a new one in.
Depends on where it falls.
Are we good?
You're good. Good evening.
So I think everybody remembers Chris Laporta from Passero, and I think this is the first time you're seeing Montserrat Rios.
It is.
Part of the civil team, and Natasha Claus, who's part of the development team. They keep
Welcome.
me straight.
And I think we all know Larry.
We all know Larry.
Who?
You don't need an introduction.
Welcome.
Welcome. Thanks for having us here tonight. I wanted to provide an update. Since the last meeting, we were taking a look at the site plan. We took a hard look at it, and in response to Pete's comment about the importance of coordinating with the fire chief, we thought we had to take another look at the building. So that's kind of the key change that we made to the plan here. And if you want to scroll to the site plan, the key change is, must be buffering.
Yeah, it's loading.
The key change is the building is kind of shaped like an L, and we were using a prototype building and didn't want to deviate too much from that, but that L shape was really, with that 150-foot setback, was making us fit awkwardly into that the corner where the land kind of jots out like a peninsula, and it did make it a little bit challenging to get around to the building properly. So before we met with the fire department, the architects took a look at the building and basically mirrored it to get that wing back there, and they were able to hold most of the integrity of the floor plan and the prototype without major modifications, but what that really did was loosened up the site plan. So we then were able to get to a point that we got the layout back in there, and we were able to kind of rough in the grading and the utilities to prove out the concept that we could make the site work. And then we had a meeting with the fire department, which Montserrat and another engineer, Raul, with our office attended. My understanding is that it was a pretty productive meeting, and that the revised building, the way it's set, worked pretty well. The main corridor, if you could point to the main entrance, Montserrat, the triangle right there. It seemed to be the preferable access corridor to get to to get over to the kitchen and some of the other key areas that the fire department would want to access. And it sounds like there was a couple comments on getting the hydrant locations adjusted for the greatest convenience. And I think that was the kind of the main focus of the meeting, and that other than that, everything was pretty well. So correct me if I'm missing anything, Montserrat, since I wasn't at the meeting, but that was my general understanding.
That was my understanding too.
Yeah.
And there is a member who was at the meeting, if you would like to correct us.
Is that all good?
Right. Oh, okay, that's a thumbs up, huh?
Thumbs up.
What we're going to do is continue to work on the plans now, but we wanted to take the opportunity to submit the architecture and get that in front of the board to just begin the discussion on that, get everybody's initial reactions and go through that a bit. But before I jump away from the site plan, I will mention, if you could zoom out a little bit, we ended up going with a one-way configuration. It's a little different than how we had it before, but it circulates better, especially with the drop-off area. You'll have the passenger car doors opening there. The loop configuration didn't quite work as well in the last iteration. One thing that I will note, we put this together and we were working pretty quick, and one of the last things I did was put on that 100-foot setback off of the top of bank, and I noticed I'm clipping a few parking spaces there, but I mean, the good news is the island is very big in the middle, so we could actually move those spaces closer to the building in our next iteration to stay out of that completely and avoid any permit needs in that area. It would actually be a lot closer to the building. I think they'd be better parking spaces there anyways. So those are the big changes that we made. Just an engineering update in general. I think one of our key next steps is to finish the utilities, and what that's going to require is a little bit of syncopation. We're working on the Phase 3 FDP right now, which has the force main along St. Andrews Road, and we will be pumping the sewer into that force main. So we need those two to will both get to the finish line and both be have a coordinated design with each other. So that's one of the elements that we're working on now. The other is stormwater. We're in a position right now with all the snow on the ground that it's a challenge to get out there and do infiltration testing. So I know a few of the initial comments on the overflow weirs on the basins and stuff. We haven't worked those details out yet because we got to finish sizing and get the grading proper. We did provide a very generous area for those. I will say that we did have a geotech out there, and based on the geotechnical results, we have a really good granular material, and we're anticipating that we'll have a really great infiltration rate, which would make the infiltration basins the optimal practice to use. What we might do is just use a conservative assumption so we can get these to the next level for our next go around and know that we're not going to need to go bigger. But I will say, if you follow the USDA soils mapping, it's classified as a Hoosick sand and gravel. And it's the same exact classification as what we call the terrace neighborhood. It's kind of the other peninsula on the other side of the Marici Kill. Very similar landform. And Larry and I were up there years ago with an excavator, and that stuff, it looked like you could sell it to use for septic systems. It was such good sand. So we are feeling pretty good that we'll be able to get the stormwater figured out on this one. So we're going to keep working on the engineering and getting the next level, which would be having an engineer's report and a SWIP that's coordinated with the drawings. But wanted to give everybody the update there, show the progress on the planimetric layout with the fire access and the site circulation, and then flip over to the architecture too. So I could, I guess maybe it's appropriate to take a quick pause if anyone wanted to have discussion about the site plan before we start looking at the building.
Sure, why not? Going to come over here and Ted.
I did a review fairly recently, so I don't expect that you will have responded to that. One of the things that the board had talked about in the past was that there be a pedestrian connection to St. Andrews Road. And I didn't see that on the plans that came through recently. The other stuff is mostly minor. There are symbols on the map that aren't in the legend, so it's hard to tell what I'm looking at. I can guess, but I'd rather know. So that's, and I'm glad to see that you've contacted the fire department, because that one fire hydrant seemed pretty far back from their vehicle access, so I'm glad that they've reviewed it.
Excellent.
Yeah, our initial thought was to try and get the hose reach around the building, but it seemed the more critical location was to have the truck pull up and be able to access that main corridor. So we're going to relocate the hydrant accordingly.
Thank you. Ms. Franson?
We will have some general comments, but I know you're sort of between conceptual, preliminary, going to continue to grade out. Some engineering details have to be put in, et cetera. So, but we'll provide that to you.
Mr. Sotero?
Sure. So I issued a comment letter January the 29th, and Chris touched on a couple things there. And I may have missed, Chris, what you said, but I was curious as far as, the sewer goes. You showed 2 force mains going east and west on...
No, that was actually just a poor job of labeling. There were 2 labels that were very close to each other. The force main, the sewer force main, is going to be located on the south side of St. Andrews Road, and the water main is going to be on the east side of St. Andrews Road.
How are you planning to get the sewer to the wastewater plant?
So it's going to go into the residential road where Carriage Way comes out on the backside of St. Andrews.
All right, that's what I thought. So you're going to have to show that the whole route getting to the plant.
It'll be shown on the FDP that we're gonna be submitting in a couple of weeks.
The site plan also.
Yeah, how can you do that? I mean, you know, the health department's gotta, well, I don't know. I mean, the health department's gotta, like, approve it.
Yeah, yeah.
So you're saying that there's gonna be a separate set for this and a separate set for...
Yeah, because we're going from the wastewater treatment plant all the way up to the northwest corner. So we'll show that on, yeah, I mean.
It's a little weird, but...
We could add a context map to
Yeah.
this drawing set, just so that when you're looking at this.
I would
site,
think you should want to check with the health department and just see how they would want to see it, because they're the ones that are going to ultimately, like, approve it.
Yeah, that's a good point, and we do plan on, we're working on the FDP now, and that
Yeah,
will
so
have
it's
the
a
force
phase
main.
three
The phase
FDP,
three,
right.
the phase three FDP.
You're going to go down
yeah.
Carriage Way, so, I mean, where Carriage Way comes out on the, which is, that's what I thought. So the other thing is, and again, this is my, like, suggestion, you guys can do whatever you want, but are you planning to look at the corner lot and how the corner lot is going to get, like, sewage down to the wastewater plant? Like, I mean, you show like an E1, you know, low pressure for, you know, like Karis, but I would think you'd want to plan for development of the corner lot and put in a more conventional pump station now that, you know, the
Correct.
corner lot could get into, and then you already got that infrastructure in for both Karis and whatever comes later on the corner lot.
Yep, and that will be part of the phase three FDP, the pump station on the St. Andrews corner, which I know the preliminary, or was it the preliminary or final plat was submitted recently, and we're going to be following up with the engineering drawings. So that line will be constructed by Bellafield, and the Karis sewer infrastructure will be constructed on the Karis parcel. So we've got them separate, but if the health department wants to see the whole picture, we'll.
Well, you guys can go work out who's paying for what. I'm just saying, and again, it's your like development. But if I was looking at it, I would say we got a plan for development. If I'm like Larry, we got a plan for development of the corner parcel. So whatever sewer is put in for Karis, the corner parcel should be able to get into it. But again, that's like your deal, not mine.
Yeah, no, you're asking all the right questions.
Well, of
the
course.
Pump station, the pump station for the northwest corner will be in prior to Karis, and then that force main will be there, and they'll do a pressure tap on it.
Okay, well, all right, so you guys are going to figure it out.
We figured it out. So, but we'll get it to you in a couple of weeks. So you can see it.
So the remainder subdivision application is what creates this parcel.
Yes.
Right? So that's got to be approved before we give site plan approval to Karis, right?
Well, it'll be a condition, right, to get the plat approved and
Well,
filed. Right.
Okay, well, all right, I mean.
That's how
so-
we've been doing
Yeah.
it. It'll be a condition that the map, we have to prove that it's been filed.
Yeah,
before the
okay,
site
yeah,
plan
so
is
it's the same
signed.
thing, so.
Yeah.
Okay, because it seems, so we're going to have a ways to go on the remainder subdivision, right?
Yeah, so the remainder subdivision was submitted yesterday. We'll be back here on the 18th. On the 17th, the FDP, which supports the remainder subdivision, will be submitted. So you'll see all the grading, drainage, all the utilities, all laid out on the entire Belfield property, including the sewer going from the plant all the way up to the northwest corner.
Okay. Okay. Thanks.
That's big picture.
Yeah, this is.
That's a very big picture. Excellent, Bill. Okay. Show us some architecture. Oh, I'm sorry, Victoria.
Oh, that's okay. It's still, At this point, it's too early to refer to county planning and to take any
Yes.
real
Right.
procedural steps.
Yeah.
We'll
Yep,
just
they're
keep
still
it-
ironing out a lot of details. Okay.
So the floor plan is about 14,000 square feet under roof. Coming in from the main foyer way, we have an open concept. And you'll see that it opens into the main living. Those row of seats are bar, sushi bar area looking into the kitchen. It is an open kitchen. And I think I mentioned before, I think that's a critical structural ingredient to how people flow through their day is by cooking aromas. It's a strong signal that most of us remember. I'm remembering it right now, actually. I didn't have dinner or lunch. One of the things to note is that when we designed this building, there's a visual axis that really runs through towards the back of the building. And what that does, you'll see it on the elevation, but the roofing plan, we have clerestory windowing, and that kind of allows natural light to pierce the whole spine of this building. We have egresses on pretty much most sides, and those will be functional to the extent as required by code for egress, and to the extent that they're not, we will dead end them in a glass panel and use it as kind of an exhibition space, an art wall space, just a little nook. But the idea is to pierce this floor plan with as much natural light as possible, and I think we've achieved that. The visual axis that runs through the building, if you notice how we lined our doors up, it pierces the dining room, which looks into the courtyard. And that pierces, what we originally had, what we call the Grand Lounge was actually a bistro. It was going to be a transitional kind of second step use between the dining room and the outdoor space. But we thought we would bring the courtyard more central. And that way you have light piercing down to the L wing of the corridor, which is also pierced by kind of a library on the south side that will open. Lots of windows. Lots of windows. It's a big thing for me. And each of our kind of residential neighborhoods, none of them are going to be coded by color, which is something I did in the first facility I built 25 years ago. I think that really has migrated into kind of the institutional look. We don't have a lot of symmetry in this building, so I think people can key towards what part of the building better. There's slightly different visual cues and different spatial arrangements. So around that central core, our idea is twofold. One is we want people to naturally migrate to it, and I think the pathway and the designs kind of force that. It's easy for our staff to round, and that's a critical piece of what we're about. By the way, I'm just going to take an aside to say when you go to some of these larger communities and they sell you on the unit, and maybe they'll have a gas fireplace in these units, and you'll think, wow, this is the kind of place that I would want to stay if I was going skiing for a week. And that's great, but what ends up happening is people isolate in their units. And you'll pay a premium for these nice places and wonder why, I'm hearing stories my mom wasn't looked in on, for 6 hours. That's why when you couple that with kind of a low staffing ratio, people get lost in their units. Here, this is why, we have that open core that is accessible by most everybody except in the L wing. But we think the kind of natural draw of activity, rounding, it will bring people out and into the core. The other thing too is we have a de facto kind of interior wander path, right? We have a sense of destination where people can find a common area pretty much at all points in this floor plan. And when you create a sense of destination, you create a sense of movement. And if you purpose your rooms, the common rooms, differently, you kind of reinforce what I call kind of a sense of discovery, right? And I think that's also important. People aren't coming out to one common room and sitting there for all of their uses, activity, dining, therapies and all that. So we create kind of enough sense, a balance of dispersion and congregation. Most of the hallways will be carpeted, and there's always a constant debate about whether to carpet resident rooms or not. I prefer it because it's warmer and it mitigates fall risk a little bit. The long hallway and the bottom part of the central core will be carpeted. They're natural breaks that we will construct, and kind of the rest will be a mix of planking and tiling. I think stylistically where we're looking to make an impact is on our finishes on the interior. All the bathrooms will be custom tiled. There'll be no plasticky drop-ins. We're going to have wall sconces and really nice LED lighting. If you see a fluorescent, you are allowed to break it. You will never see a fluorescent in anything that I build. So we're trying to create views, we're trying to create dialogue with kind of the, not only your circadian rhythm, but seasonal rhythm.
Elevations?
I'm sorry?
Would you like to see the elevations? Just let me know.
Yeah, just a couple things. We like open, so our dining room, we haven't fully figured it out, but we'll probably glass wall, but that little pony wall on the left side will be a see-through fireplace, and we'll probably see if we can squeeze in like 2 sitting chairs on the outside hallway. But there's a fantastic ingress, egress, kind of an open concept. We were going to glass wall kind of around the private dining on the top right. I think the idea for us is to avoid as much as possible short sight lines and dead ends. I don't know about you guys, but nothing depresses me more than just seeing a dead end, poorly lit. That's just not a good visual, and it doesn't really, the psychologics don't really feel good. But I'd like to say it will be very tastefully done, right? We were going to chair rail most of the hallways and use a nice kind of wallpaper below the chair rail. I'll just inject this. It's not really related to architecture except indirectly, but we have spoken to Pedro Roman at the HPSD school district, and we've got an agreement. They're going to support our IDA application. We will be using some of this space as event space for the school. Exhibition spaces, in addition to providing, internships and I guess what he called reverse internships, reverse mentorships. And that's really a positive thing for us. We would look for that.
Jump to the elevations.
So, yeah, everybody wants to see color, so. Our exterior, we're planning a stone skirt around most of the visual approaches, and a combination of board and batten brick and siding. I like the way painted brick breaks up kind of the topography of a single fascia.
Which one of those is the one that faces St. Andrews?
It's the bottom one.
Bottom one. The bottom one?
Yep.
No. Oh,
Right.
okay.
North.
I don't think that's quite right, because we have
It's the north elevation.
a covered entry.
It's to the left of that building, I think, right?
Correct.
Yeah, north
we know
is
it's
left
below.
on the plan.
So it's one of the short.
So it'd be the north elevation.
That would be Route 9 if I had not seen it. That's Route 9, yeah. The bottom one was Route 9.
Where the pink is, that's east.
It does extend the whole way back.
West.
West would be Route 9.
Yeah.
You can see where the clerestory windows are facing. They're facing south, right? So you're gonna, there's your south elevation with the clerestories and.
God bless you.
I can't see, are they labeled by direction?
That's not quite accurate.
On the right, you can't see it.
Oh, yeah, right, I see that, yeah.
The north elevation is the one that would face
Taller
St.
people.
Andrews.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, the north, yeah.
We just can't see if there's cardinal directions on the elevations.
No, north is the left on that. Scroll down.
I spent a long time trying to figure out exactly this the other day, so.
Because east is the main entrance, right?
Correct.
There must be,
Which is east.
Yeah, correct.
So the bottom would be the north.
Okay.
So north, yeah, so that's what we thought. You can see how it juts
Well,
out
it's
in
definitely
the
not a
middle.
boring building. Gotcha. So the second one up is the main entrance, correct?
Yes.
Yep, okay.
The second one is the east. That's the
The
east.
east elevation is the front.
Because that's
It's the main
entrance.
entrance.
That's the main entrance. See it? It's under the,
See on the
it's
bottom
under
end,
cover.
you can see the
Yeah.
bottom one, you can see the courtyard that's cut out of the roof. That's for the internal courtyard.
What could be
The north should be the front, no?
What could be the confusion is
Right.
that the site plans use the Bellafield orientation, where north is planned left on the site plan.
Oh.
Because if you're standing on St. Andrews, you're looking south at the building, and
Right.
the front entrance would be the east elevation,
Yep.
which would be on
No,
the.
that's fine, I mean, you're making,
Which would be
that
the
was
east.
the L and how you get it to work with the site.
You'd be looking from the east.
Yes. But that's actually the north, ordinal north elevation, looking from the north,
Yeah.
looking south.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. And so this will work with all the interior activities that you just described?
Yes.
Okay. Excellent.
Can you scroll up? I want to see the other. So that's the west.
Yeah, so the south, you could see that door is where the resident wing sticks out on the back of the building.
Bottom is St. Andrews.
Bottom is,
That one.
yeah.
So that's the- Okay. Okay. Yes, yes.
Can you zoom in to
It's
the
south.
elevation?
South, yeah.
Keep going.
Oh, I think it's south. Wait.
Are there changes in elevation because the windows seem to go up and then down and up if you look to the left?
This could be restroom,
Bathroom
bathrooms.
windows.
Maybe.
They're higher.
Taller people,
So
so you don't have anybody looking in.
That's for the tall people.
that's exactly
And
what.
that's for the short people
That's
rooms.
that's what Pete said.
Never heard of rooms?
Yeah,
Assigned by you?
right.
Tall window.
Giants.
Okay.
It's material?
And so these are preliminary, because you may need to make changes to your building
Yes.
still, right? Yeah.
A quick question on that, I don't know, that open area. It looks like it's about 350 square feet. It's not a large area. So you're leaving that open to the sky?
Yes.
And I only ask, and it's especially for Pete, if snow and drainage and, the maintenance of something that size, were you going to use it for anything, or is?
We call that, our working name for that is our Zen garden. I think it's a way for people to get kind of an protected outdoor exposure, but it's not really an active.
It'd almost be nice to do sand raking and things like that. I mean, it really would be
Too many leaves up here.
Yeah, here.
For that.
Do you imagine that the residents will be using it, or do you think that it will be more a visual that connects the center space?
I think both. I mean, it's actually big enough that we can put an outdoor set, a table
Like a little,
and whatever.
Cafe set.
So I think it's kind of, for us, a flex space. It's certainly a strong visual element because it opens the whole floor plan up. And it's not just going to be a dead space, it's going to be designed, we will have it drained. We have big aspirations to use LED lighting and get some kind of...
Yeah, I was just wondering if it was possible, and this is totally obviously up to you, but from a functional perspective, to make it a little bigger, could it be done? I don't know if it can be. And that's not something we have to look at. It was just because of the size of it, if you want it to be such a focal feature, could it be enlarged? And that might also help with the maintenance outside. Just a thought.
But they're kind of constrained with space, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But you have it
But
so
what an
well
interesting
programmed.
element, right?
Yeah.
What an interesting
Yes.
element.
Yeah, I think it really adds to the project.
In that deck, we had a picture of kind of the concept we're going for.
Okay.
So I don't anticipate it being a highly kinetic outdoor space.
Okay.
We have the backyard, that'll be fenced in, decked, and that's where the primary, where you can really enjoy the outdoor space.
Okay.
If we made it bigger, we would have to squeeze out the bottom lounge at the bottom.
Yeah, I'm just throwing that out
Just
there
random
because
thoughts, right? Yeah, just as we.
yeah, because
kind of
I always picture
impressions.
parking spaces and I think about maintenance and how usable is it, and for a busy group that will be there.
And what happens when it snows?
Well, that was. Yes.
Well, I mean, courtyards, they do look beautiful in the snow, though.
This is true, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the visual Zen
Right.
element, right?
Yeah, true.
So,
Well, thank you.
It's
Yeah.
bringing nature indoors, is
Yes.
really what it
Yeah.
is, so it's nice, it's a nice feature.
Well, good, I'm glad you're able to work within the confines and make adjustments as needed.
We actually had it bigger in a very early iteration of this, and when we started getting into how we were going to structure it and the biologics, plants, and all that kind of stuff, that really became an endeavor in and of itself, and we thought we would design it kind of as our almost, I mean, it's almost like a museum setting, like something you would see at
Almost like a little exhibit.
An outdoor exhibit space almost, and we felt that it was still strong to pierce this building and bring in a very visual reminder of the outdoors. I think it'll be used. I don't think
I'll use it. I'll come visit you.
We'll save a seat for you.
Yeah,
Sure.
all right.
I was going to say.
All right.
But it's not going to snow again for a while.
So, I think this is another great step forward, and it sounds like you're definitely getting to know your site and how to work with it, and thank you for talking with the fire department early, because that's always helpful. Bonnie gave you some comments, and Pete, of course, is there to help with trying to make sure you're working. It's a big lift to get all the water, and especially the sewer. But looks like we're getting traction.
Yeah.
So, excellent. But no, we are not ready to circulate at this point, so.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to keep working on it. We just wanted to show the revisions and get the preliminary architecture and talk about it and show you the progress. So
No, thank you very much.
We'll keep going on it.
Yeah, it's fascinating and exciting.
Thank you.
Excellent. So if there's nothing else?
No, all set.
Any comments here?
Do we want to do architectural comments at this
Well,
point?
I mean, you can. Sure, yes, absolutely. Let's, we'll start with you.
Okay. I mentioned I did spend some time with this when it came in the other night. On the whole, I think the general concept for the building looks really nice. It took me a minute to realize that north elevation was the elevation it was facing. The road, it looks like the back of house to me. It looks like the rear wall of the building. And I would suggest potentially some additional focus on what could be done to kind of enliven that space. I understand it's not your front entrance. That's obviously on the side, but something to bring that to life and make it more of a front facade. You could say something sort of similar about the west elevation as well, which would be visible, obviously, as you're going down the road. There is, it's sort of a large wall with just the window punctures there. The only other detail I would say is I just suggest that if false shutters are used, I suggest that they should match the size of the window that they are. It can look a little, when you get a big bay window with tiny shutters or big, it's a large window with tiny shutters, it can look a little funny. I honestly don't know that you need the shutters on this at all. It's an easy way to add kind of more texture and depth and interest to a building, but I think there are other ways that you could do that could improve the building. So
Well, we could do awnings.
Yeah,
Standing seam.
I've noticed that there's the shutters and the awnings, which sort of look.
What we could do is maybe move those from the front to the side. But our side is articulated. I mean, we do have some architectural depth and context.
Yeah, certainly we're working off.
So we've got different planes that are going to have different light values.
I do understand
we can
we're
dress
working
that
off
up.
of a 2D elevation, of course, and but it struck me just that the front elevation was the least interesting in some ways of the four. So I'll just leave it at that. It's obviously early on here.
Yep.
But.
Thank you. Rob?
Yeah, I like the idea of the awning type of feel rather than the shutter on this structure, because it lends itself to it has a more modern feel to it, but yet it has natural earthy tones to it. So I do like that. I think if you did maybe even the awning not being an awning, but maybe more of a awning that is of a natural, like a wood.
But we would do standing seam and wood.
Wood, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it would be like a bracket with maybe a trellis on top type of thing, but lean. So it would actually give you some solar protection too, so in the windows. So that would be good. I like the courtyard. What else did I have here? I like that it leads to the central core. I like that all roads lead to the central core type of thing. So that's good. The open kitchen, I like that too. I think on maybe the first rendition, was the kitchen flipped? Was it on the opposite side, or I don't know. Maybe I was thinking of something else. I see so many things planned.
No, yes, we mirrored the.
I think it was mirrored. Yeah, I think you mirrored it over. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So okay.
So that messed you up, right?
No,
Yeah, 'cause
no,
now you
I
got
got it
used to the
right
kitchen.
away. Because you're trying to make the entry, a clear sight all the way through. I mean, I understand it. I can interpret the plan, what your idea is. I also like that, you're not making it compartmentalized.
Yes.
That it's like, and you're making people think about where they need to go too, at the same time. So they're using their minds to really focus. The whole idea of your business is to encourage that, and that nature and the views. Whatever you can do to make the glass, larger is good, I think.
So this, I'm just going to say, this platform has garnered a lot of attention from people in the industry. And just to brag, we have 2 people up in Albany helping us through licensing and just kind of all that. One of them is a group, Hyde and Landy. They're big government affairs. They have a special practice in licensing and healthcare. And the principal who runs that part of the house flat out told me, like 2 years ago when we met, that this is the most exciting thing that they've seen in the Hudson Valley in 3 decades. And I said, I just finished driving a lot of these places. I believe you. The other person we have up there is an attorney at Garfunkel Wild, Jim Daring, and he used to be the general counsel for DHS. And they are both wholeheartedly supportive of what we're trying to do.
Program.
And the genesis of this came because just seeing the writing on the wall, I really didn't like what the direction the senior care industry was going. And nobody I've spoken to who has any experience feels any differently. So let's do something about it.
Let's make it different.
Yeah, and you are, I could see that is the goal of your program.
Yes.
Definitely, I could see that it is different, it's unique, and it's not just
No.
getting as many people into a facility as possible and not being able to give the proper care and attention too. So.
And to that, just real quick, we have a meeting with BOCES, Duchess BOCES, on Friday. And just to give you an update on that, I had proposed a couple different avenues that we could co-venture, for lack of a better word, and they were very receptive to it. For example, we have a training module for dementia care administration, dementia care activity, and dementia care. And the gist of the conversation was, would you like to partner on issuing certifications for these programs? And those have been developed in-house on my side, and it's packed with like 50 years of operational experience and best practices. So we're meeting them this Friday. And obviously we would love to be part of their training module when it comes to, the clinical aspects of it. So I think our mission would align very well with theirs.
Great. And until I see maybe further, development of the elevations and stuff like that, then
I'll get you your awnings.
Yeah.
Just don't walk to the front of the house.
No. So, but like I said, everything is, it's moving along. So thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Beath?
Excited to see a little development on St. Andrews Road besides the cell phone tower. And look forward to this project. Looks great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Oliver?
Thank you very much for your presentation. I think any comments at this point might be a little premature, but I think a comment on the north elevation. We're seeing those elevations without any landscaping, and I think with how some of the color palette you've chosen for the building, when you add landscaping to that, I think could really add a lot to that north facade. And so I'm not necessarily on the boat of dressing it up with architecture yet, because I'd like to see where you go with your landscape plan, because I do like the architecture in the building. You're breaking up a lot of sight lines. It is a unique building, and I like how it works with the internal arrangement. So thank you.
Yeah. So we are required, I guess everybody is, but we are required by HUD also to have a landscape plan approved and stamped. So.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just saying.
No, so we haven't gotten to that.
And you'll be getting.
I just think.
But I love that stuff. I got to tell you.
North,
yeah, you give me an unlimited budget, it'll look great from the outside.
Thank you. Ms. Lee?
Well, I know it's early days, but I wanted to commend you on your community outreach. We really appreciate that. And also the the change in the massing so that it works better, again, the outreach, the fire department, I think it's going to serve everyone much better, so thank you. I too also look forward to details on the architecture, maybe some interior shots where we can see the light at the end of the tunnels, but I know that's forthcoming. So again, it's early days, but we appreciate you and thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Garcia.
Just saying, it's a pleasure to have you in this town. You're very forward-thinking, and the project is going to be a real asset to the town.
Excellent.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, there you go. I would echo my colleagues and thank you for coming out.
Thank you, guys.
And giving us an update on your progress. You've done an awful lot, so we appreciate that.
Can we take all you guys with us to the next county?
You won't need any help.
Chris, what's next?
Yeah, I was going to say, what's next steps?
Our next steps will be to finish the SWIP and the engineer's report, and then add that next layer of detail to all of the plan sheets, including the landscaping plan. And we basically want to get our next package into good enough shape that we could go to the county and start to talk about public hearings. So I think we've got a little bit of work to do to get there, but that's our goal for our next milestone.
And then I'll double track with the architect and we'll dress up the facades and recast the elevations. And by the way, Robert, we had awnings on the front of the house, and we just kind of ended up this way to fit the topography of the land. But we can add and whatever.
Yeah, I think Dylan raised a good point, yeah.
And they will be.
It doesn't need much, right?
No.
Like, it's a
it's
good
not
building,
long.
but
Right.
You know, keep it simple.
And we'll get rid of the tall room and short room.
Yeah, yeah.
Excellent. Good inputs.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yes. The next item on the agenda is a workshop discussion for Cool Sunny Retail Cannabis for 701 Violet Avenue.
What? Really? Again?
Good evening.
Good evening.
How are you?
Welcome back.
Thank you.
So there's been a lot of movement on this project.
Well, we got your architecturals. I think that was the biggest thing. The only comments I had were from the board and the consultants that night at the meeting. So I have a review letter from the planner now.
Yes.
But the changes that you saw on these plans were just from your comments. And who helped me with the drawing? Thank you. So we put together architecturals for the front of the building facing 9J, facing east. Not really changing much structurally. The entrances are in the same spot. The only thing, there's a existing garage door on the south-facing side that will be a man door.
So you'll fill it, and it'll be a door for employees, I think?
Yeah, yes, or,
employee door?
yeah, deliveries maybe. Yeah, so that will still be able to become a garage door again. They're just gonna change it up with non-structural. There was a comment about gating off the back area from the front area. I did show a proposed gate. The owner of the property would prefer not to gate it. This is the parking areas. There's a 15-foot gate shown there right now. It works with all the traffic movement through the site, including the fire truck, but the access to people dropping off their cars after hours is going to be limited. So he would prefer to not have it. But if it's required, then he's okay with that. The lighting was modified in the most recent submitted plans, which is what you're looking at. I get all my fixtures from darksky.org, so they're all compliant.
Excellent.
I know there was a question about the cut sheet for the wall-mounted lights, the floodlights, but they're all compliant. So I think the biggest concern of the board was the appearance of the building.
Right, there's some site plan, like you said, Bonnie's memo covered a bunch of smaller, just site plan elements.
Yep.
But yes, architecture of, the dressing up of an old building is always exciting.
Yeah. So a lot of the space in basically the site is completely paved in the front half of it, and a lot of that will be returned to green space. Adjacent to 9G, there'll be a lawn area and then a small parking area, which would be just for the dispensary. And then there's 5 parking spaces in the back or on the side for showing cars that are for sale.
Okay.
And then all of this parking is for the automotive. This is all currently gravel, this green area. That's going to be returned to grass and utilized for snow storage. And there is a proposed fence along all the adjacent residential boundaries. So it's everything on the south and the west. On the north is the state park.
Can you make that a little bit bigger, please?
I'll try.
Right in the middle next to the 1, yeah. You see the plus there.
There you go. Thank you.
Sure.
That's before and after, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Bottom is proposed.
Yep. So, Rob, didn't we have questions about the height of the windows?
Yeah, I just want to make sure that I don't know if it's New York State or who, since it's a controlled, substance based, or it's relaxed now.
Regulated.
It's regulated. There was something about, I remember something about the windows being an issue with the.
You can't display the items through the windows. And so the question is, are they going to be blacking them out or obscuring?
Okay, is that what it was? It wasn't necessarily the size of somebody breaking in or security reasons?
That might be additional, but I know that you can't display things through the windows.
Yeah, okay.
No window shopping? No window shopping.
So they would have to be tinted in some way then?
Yeah, so I've seen them be like a frosted glass. So they still pass light.
So it's diffused, yep.
Mhm.
So we saw one place painted them black, and so if there was something, if you were intended to paint the windows black, we need to see that on the plan, or whatever the treatment is going to be.
I don't think that's proposed right now, but
So that was the one thing was that, and also the entrances, they were separate entrances, correct?
yeah, so there's basically down the midline of the building going east to west is a dividing wall. So on the south side of the building, it will be storage,
Right.
and that'll be locked and with a keypad.
I kind of remember this too, that they said that they couldn't use, and correct me if I'm wrong, I thought they couldn't use the same entrance as egress and ingress. There's something about, they can't use the same door to enter and to leave. You have to use a separate door to leave. That's why they had two doors. They didn't.
I don't remember seeing
that. There was a
that.
partition wall in between.
They told us that originally, but when we went to the grand opening
Okay.
of the
I didn't know.
of the one, and we went in,
Yeah.
we went in the same door that we came out of.
Okay, and so there
But
was
they
no
had
walk around, or
they had
what-
told
what-
us that there was
Yeah, yeah,
but
they-
that's not how it happened to get laid out.
Okay. All right, that might have changed then, that rule, so.
Yeah,
okay,
I
that's
just
good.
did one in the town of Poughkeepsie, and it's all one.
Maybe after all these meetings, I'll get. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to, you asked me the question, I don't want to jump the gun, so do you want to
No, I
go
mean,
through the normal?
Did you, well, because we wanted to talk about the architecture, so.
Okay, so I can keep going then?
Yes,
Okay.
of course.
Okay, so my only comment is I like the feel of everything, but the cross gables on over the doors on the garage side and the second entry there.
Yeah.
When you look at them, I know it's a silly thing, but we've always done this. They look like they're western fronts, like a false facade, like in a movie set.
Yeah.
So I was saying, could it be a hip? To
So,
make it a hip.
we talked about
I
that.
sent that drawing
Yep.
to you, yeah.
Thanks again.
Yeah.
I talked to the architect about it today, and he was saying that that'll create runoff onto the sidewalk, and it's not necessarily, it's not an entrance for public. So to draw attention to it and make it look like it's, well, his main concern was the runoff and ice dam, if we had to put a gutter there, ice damming it. And it's going to be coming down onto a sidewalk.
Yeah, I still think aesthetically, though, it would be so much more pleasing, but,
What if it was lower in peak?
That wall jumps, that's the thing, on that side.
Okay.
I think that wall's, if I'm remembering it correctly, the roof line on the front, the awning, basically, hides that wall, and then that wall continues around that corner on the garage side. So, you could try to lower it, but it might create other issues. It might come down too low then, because of the width that you have it.
Okay.
Because I think you were covering the whole opening of the garage. So that pitch becomes difficult, but
That may be. He may not have changed the opening.
I don't see where the hip would create any more or less water on the thing, but, and especially that you're getting rid of a lot of the macadam, or the blacktop and stuff, and you're gonna have plantings, that water could be good for the plants, so. I know there's water runoff on the back end from the flat roof going through the parking lot. And it looks like it collects somewhere in the back building's parking area.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see it to be, it's not that much of a roof that it would create that much water.
That's true.
So that's my opinion.
Okay.
Aesthetically, I think it would be so much more pleasing, and since you're putting so much into it, making these changes, and you're drastically changing the building. I mean, I think it looks so much better. And Route 9G, they always say that they never have anything happening over there on Violet. So, except for Don's parties. But other than that, so good architecture would be a big improvement on there. And then the other thing I thought might be good, I don't mind the black roof, the standing seam, but then the infill on the gable wall there or at the door, I thought that if that was a slight contrast difference than the roof, it wouldn't blend together as much. So
Okay.
it would step off, and then you have the natural gray of the building, I think, which is even a lighter tone.
Yeah.
So you could kind of have like 3 different values, and I think that would help push the building in and out. But again, it's a visual thing, for me. But I think that would help separate it so it doesn't look so heavy on top. With the black underneath at the main entry, where the sign is.
Yeah.
Yep. So, and that's all I have.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, so is there anything else to show us? We saw the site plan.
The site plan and all the traffic movements going through the site and the lighting plan. It's only, so I have a fire truck, a passenger car. There was a question about why this island, in your letter, about why the island wasn't extended. The owner tows vehicles, and a lot of times he'll have to pull the tow truck through 2 spaces, and he would potentially leave them like that overnight.
I mean, the car
It's
stays.
on the back of the tow truck.
Oh,
when it's-
okay.
Or even if it's a
So
flatbed.
it extends across the two
Yeah,
spaces, you're saying?
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
okay.
why.
It's quite long, yeah.
Yeah, it just seemed odd because it's shown, but it's not landscaped. So
Oh, yeah.
it shows as if there is going to be landscape, but then
It's just for the space.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's it.
All right. Ted, any comments?
So we had been talking about establishing a scale for the property, and I think we sent a survey
You did,
that
yeah.
showed an outline of a space that went a little further back than the pavement area. And we were thinking that that would be a good establishment of scale. It's from quite some time ago, and if you could planimeter that area and figure that out for us, that would be great.
So it looks like where the pavement was going is about to like the midpoint of where the snow storage is.
So that would add a pre-existing scale that he could work with if he comes in for an expansion, special use permit and expansion. That would give him a little bit more flexibility.
Okay.
So that should be a,
It needs to go on the table.
on the table,
Yeah.
on the zoning table for existing scale.
Okay.
Right.
And then you're taking out, I think you're taking out some of the pavement? So that would be then subtracted, right? In the front?
This area.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's coming out.
I'm not sure how much is coming out based on
Oh, I have
traffic
calculations
stuff.
on
Okay.
what the impervious is compared to what it's proposed to be.
That's all I had.
Okay, yep. Bonnie?
So you do have our memo.
Yep.
I discovered that apparently we did get another set from you, which we did not receive, so, but I think a lot of the comments still remain. One of them, just to be clear, on all the sheet sets, it doesn't show the entire site. You show it like on this sheet, not the others. And so
Yeah.
I would just add a note somewhere that, you know, no improvements are proposed, so that it's clear, you know, nothing's happening on the part of the site that's not being shown.
Okay.
Yeah, like on those.
Yep.
So I just think that would help.
Okay.
There was a question about the ability to back out of this with the removal of the pavement and the additional landscaping. While, you know, we appreciate that and enhances the landscape, there was a question whether there's enough backup aisle. And, you know, I'll defer to Pete on that, whether that's sufficient, but we did raise that question. With regard to drainage, we all noticed on some aerials that they're at the corner of the building.
Over here.
Yes. It's a lot of, on many of the aerials, there's just water draining, and it goes to that little depression in the back, so it's flowing over the parking lot area. Are they doing work in there? Is it like car washing or anything of that nature? Or why so much water? Because it doesn't seem to be just a situation where it's a roof drain, but maybe it is.
I don't think he's doing any detailing or washing, but I'll confirm that with him.
Okay.
I meant to ask him that today, I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah, only because
It was on every picture that we looked at.
Yeah, it was very odd, and that was not, you know.
Maybe they always
No.
take pictures after a rain.
It's like a low depression, right?
Yeah, so I think it's formed over time, and, you know, the point is that it looks like there's some kind of inlet there.
Yeah, it's a catch basin.
Right, but maybe it's not going into the catch basin.
So I think that that catch basin will probably end up having to be replaced.
Okay, so maybe.
I don't know how old it is or what kind of condition it's in, but
Right.
I have a feeling it's not.
That might be the issue,
Yeah.
but I think, you know, what is happening is it's eroding the pavement,
Yeah.
you know, over time, if they're actually doing a lot of washing or water or whatever, so just something to consider. We did have some comments about the landscaping to the southerly residents. The garage, is it just there for storage, nothing else in the back? Nothing's going to happen to it?
No, it's going to be an automotive operation. The owner does use it now for automotive work, and he has a motorcycle repair, I think it's a motorcycle repair tenant in the front that's going to be moved to the back area.
Okay, so I guess we should, that back garage is going to be motorcycle repair?
The long part of the L.
Yeah. It's this portion.
Yeah, I'm talking about there's a little garage all the way, that garage in the back.
That's gonna, I think that's going away.
That's demolished?
Or will be.
Okay, just to add a note, whatever the disposition of that will be.
Okay. I think it does say it's gonna be demoed.
Oh, it does?
I think
Okay,
so.
sorry about that.
That's okay.
We had some parking calculation questions. We talked about screening, landscaping standards, architectural was addressed. We did have some questions on lighting, so we'll take a look at it again to
Okay.
see if everything was addressed or not. Some landscaping questions. And we talked about the drainage, so, and the others you'll see, you know.
I did go
cleanup
through it,
items.
yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty straightforward.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't really have any engineering comments. Bonnie covered the one thing that I pointed out to her about, the drive aisle in the front. It's so funny.
Good for you, Pete.
What about the backup calculations for backing up?
What? I know.
She threw you on.
I don't know. You're making me feel weird now. No, the drive aisle in the front, I think it was 15 feet. It's, 22 feet's probably good.
To back up.
Yeah, it's like a two-way drive aisle, right, in the front, where you rearrange the parking?
In the front, no, it's just head in, just to the, there's only.
But you gotta back
Yeah, but you gotta go back out.
You might have people pulling in and
You're gonna have
pulling out.
people coming in and going out, so.
Yeah, yep, you're right, Pete.
It happens every once in a while.
I know.
That's twice tonight.
That's twice.
I know.
Boy, the engineers are having a good night.
Oh, yeah. No, that's it, thanks.
I did show the traffic, the car turning and backing out.
Thingy-majiggy?
Yeah.
Okay.
In the front there?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's this,
All right.
right here.
It's the backing out, it's the backing out of the spaces.
Yeah,
Not the coming.
I'll add more.
Backing out.
I'll add more.
It's
Well,
not-
it backs in. That goes in and backs out, and then, but I'll add more aisle if
Yeah, a little more aisle would be better.
anything for you, Pete.
A little more aisle would be better.
A little more aisle.
All right, we're good, thanks.
Thank you.
Cowbell.
Ms. Polidoro?
Yeah.
Bonnie took my scale comment.
Jesus.
Actually, Tad did.
No, that's the only comment I had, just making sure that we have a good baseline documentation so that if they do want to expand in the future, we know what we're starting with.
Yep, always helpful. Thank you. Mr. Tuttle?
I don't have many comments. The hip roof, I think it would look nicer. I understand, it's just gonna, it's not gonna be much water coming off of those, but it is gonna drip onto whatever's right in front, right? So we gotta have some kind of lip or gutter
Yeah.
of some kind to just keep that, but it would look nicer. But I don't really have any comments. I'm good.
Okay.
Thank you. Any other comments, Mr. Waters?
No, I think I covered
Okay.
everything, yeah.
Mr. Veith?
No comments.
Mr. Oliver?
No comments.
Miss Lee?
Great new edits, no other comments.
Mr. Garcia?
No comments.
I think it's going to be it's going to look so much nicer
I think so
once
too,
it's
yeah.
done. And, just even if you take out some of that asphalt in the front and just put a little bit of green, it's just going to make a huge difference.
Mhm.
So I think you've got a lot of comments, that just mostly technical. And if you could figure out what the water is, because you can see it, and it looks like it might be coming off the roof then, right?
It's so strange.
Yeah.
Roof drain.
We don't see that normally, but it was
No.
almost like every aerial, there was water coming out, so we weren't sure what that was.
Okay.
And I don't think it was because of rain the day before. It was that frequent, so Just ask.
I will.
Yeah,
Okay.
thanks.
All right, so you have your comments to work on, and when would we be ready to start our circulation?
I think on the next submission,
Okay.
it has all of that updated information.
All right, so our next steps is for you to work on a new submission
Okay.
that takes care of a lot of these comments and tighten up any architecturals if you can. Get your landscaping identified, and we can circulate.
Circulate to whom?
So this gets,
It'll be type 2, but it does need to go to county planning.
yep,
And we do ultimately need to refer it to the town board.
right,
Right, okay. So then I come back to you,
yep.
and then you refer me to the town
We'll
board?
type the action, and then we'll send it off to county and send it off to
So
town.
we'll have to have a public hearing. There is the option of a joint hearing, but I think that's more work.
How do you do that?
It's very difficult because we have to find a night that works for 10
Yes,
people.
okay.
Thank you.
And last time, we just had our own public hearing and then sent it to the
Yep.
town board.
And that was nice and clean. Okay.
So, I'm sorry. My next meeting is with this board.
Yep.
Is that going to be a public hearing, or that would have to be?
No, we'll set the public hearing when you send in the new package. Can we set it?
I mean,
We could set a
wonder why
public
we
hearing,
couldn't.
right? I mean, if you could turn this around, right?
I can turn it around.
Sure, but it's not going to save any time because we still need to send the packet to the county.
Yep.
And to the police and all those other people that we send to. So we can start it in case there's comments from the public, but with the expectation it's going to be left open.
Well, can we schedule it out for 2 meetings from now?
I would have to set tomorrow if it's 2 meetings.
For the
Or
March,
th-
no.
Yeah,
two
so a
meetings,
month-
March
a
4th.
month.
2 meetings, March 4th.
And then you would circulate that, you would initiate
Right.
circulation that night?
Right, and so if we did that, then we would need the materials in 13 days, right? We would need it on the 17th,
Mm-hmm.
so that we have them in time.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know how quickly you guys, you can turn around the scale, because Tad will have to review it for sure, but.
Right, the scale is.
How about we
the
go out
biggest item.
3 meetings?
Well, or we just leave it open as we work it out,
Yeah, I mean,
just to get them moving.
we're no stranger to that.
Right. Correct. If we still have to work it out, we'll work it out.
Okay.
Right, because we would expect that the submission would take care of the scale issue.
Yep.
Or question. It's not an issue, it's just a question of identifying it and getting it officially put on the application.
Okay.
So yes, we could set a public hearing for March 4th.
Okay.
All right, can I get a motion to set a public hearing for March 4th?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Excellent. And you know that if you have any questions, just yell and...
I'll call Pete.
Really?
Just call Pete. Hey.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank
okay.
you.
All right, next item on the agenda, oh, that's good timing. Next item on the agenda is Belfield Sterling PUD Phase 2 FDP Lot 8 update. Welcome back.
Thank you very much for adding us on to the agenda. Kind of a last minute thing, but I did want to get before the board and give them an update on where we're at. As Jared is loading this, so we submitted the Crescent Pond a couple weeks ago, and there's been some back and forth on that, so I wanted to review that. Yesterday, we submitted the remainder of the subdivision, so in 2 weeks, we'll review that. That remainder subdivision, the board has reviewed previously, so we addressed the comments from back in June, so we'll get the board updated on that. Supporting the remainder of the subdivision is Phase 3 Final Development Plan, where we have all the grading, drainage, all the utilities in, including the sewer from the plant all the way up to the northwest part of the site. So all that's in there. It'll also have a phasing plan, so we'll review all that with everybody. We continue to work with the county on the St. Andrews intersections, because that is one of the comments that we have to address, approving those 3 locations. And of course, we're working on 2B. We got the conditional site plan approval on that in December. We're working through the conditions, and one of those conditions is getting the sign-off from the fire chief. So we've been working pretty hard with Dan Nichols and his team. As you know, in our first submittal, he submitted back, and there's a bunch of comments that still needed to be addressed. So we met with him January 20th and went through the comments with him, and he continued to push back hard on the roundabout that we have on Carriageway, and just said it's just too tight for his biggest truck, which is the ladder truck. And when you review and we're going to go through this. Are you all loaded up? Okay, good. Yeah, we're going to review it, and I'll show it, because we did bring it loaded up on the PowerPoint. But when you do review that, it is too tight. You know, we are rolling over the curbs, and he just pushed back hard on it. So we agreed to look at a 4-way intersection there, which was previously done for Phase 2A, but we went back to it and took a hard look at it. And when we submit to him tomorrow, and you'll be copied, and I'll copy Cynthia on it so she can circulate it to the board, we will have that plan that shows that 4-way as an alternate. But going back to this, the pond here, so this is little less than 2 acres, and we spoke about pulling this pond out of.
I don't know that the board was prepared to talk about.
I thought we were just talking about the 4-way.
Well, we
It's
could.
an overall update of this, what he's,
Yeah, I think.
what they're working on.
Handed out, that's all.
So it's like a workshop.
They don't have it yet, just so you know.
Yeah, we don't have it.
Yeah, but it's a verbal.
You don't have this?
I have it, but since we didn't have a.
Oh, okay,
path
fine.
forward, they don't have it.
Fine, so this is just an update.
It's
So-
an
It's a
update,
workshop.
yes.
Yeah, a workshop.
It's,
You could talk about potential path forward. on this
Yeah,
one too, or-
yeah, and.
Not trying to jump ahead, just.
No, jump ahead. We're trying to get ahead of some of the issues that we have to deal with the bats, the turtles, and the core, right? So the core permit is good through March 7th of 2027, so we want to have this done, this year. And so we pulled it out of the Phase 4, which is the condos, and that's what it is right there. It doesn't meet the DEC thresholds for a dam permit. We're below the height and we're below the volume. So this is just simply, and Chris did the engineering on the watershed analysis, and in this submittal, we sized the outflow pipe, the stand pipe. We set the elevations for the water, the freeboard, the top of the dam. Everything is set, and then the idea would be to figure out a pathway forward to get this approved, so we can get it clear during this season's clearing cycle before March 31st, and have all the grading and done before April 15th, which is of course the turtle date, and have it all done and hydroseeded, and we're out of there. So a suggestion was made that maybe we should do an offline meeting to work through the details of it. And so we're certainly, open to that. That's the update on that. Yep. So going to this is what we've submitted to Dan. Does that have the? Yeah, that does have the.
This is what was submitted to him before the last.
Yeah, and it has the turning radiuses on there, right? You zoom in, yeah. Yeah, so it has the auto turn for the fire truck on there, and if you zoom in, it does cross over and into, there's a mountable curb there, and then there's some pavers there, and that is the inside wheel right there, getting very close to the signage that's in there, and then the outside wheel, you see that, and then the swing of the truck, goes over the curb. It's just too tight for him to accept. And the easiest thing would be to make it bigger. And right now, the diameter of that roundabout is 85 feet, which is a small roundabout. The roundabouts, we went ahead and looked them up. The roundabouts on Route 55 are 125. And that's basically what, if you're going to do it, you got to give me more room. And we can't do that here. This is a sloped area like this, and we're trying to put, a large roundabout in it. It's just too difficult to do. We're confident that we can get something that will still be something that all of us at Belfield are proud of, and that would be an entrance statement there. And I did speak to Dave at Arterial, and he has some ideas, that we can work up on the four-way that I think will work out very, very well. So we're working with him, through that. But we're not going to be able to get the fire chief sign off with this current layout. And to make it 125, what happens is we go into lot 7, and we can't do that. We'd have to go run and get easements and stuff like that. And the northwest corner, that is sloping down to a wetland, and we go wider, or filling in the wetlands, or we're putting in a wall. So it just doesn't fit, in the area that we have.
Larry, suppose that roundabout is suppose it's just like stonework that's different in it, like a mosaic.
It could be. It could be.
So you could drive over it.
It could be, and we discussed that, and the concern there would be that people would, not follow the roundabout.
Right.
They'll just go through. And but I think Jared, can you pull up what Arterial sent us?
So he wants a four-way intersection, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
if that's what he wants, I mean.
Yeah. So
these are the four ways that are.
Yeah. So everything works here.
This was the alternative that we've presented to the fire chief.
Yep. We're presenting it tomorrow, but we told them we would do it. Oh yeah. So you can go back up. Yeah, we looked at that and looked at those 3 roundabouts there, measured them, and they're at 125.
Those are the ones on 55?
Yes.
Okay.
So there's things we can do here, to really accentuate it, and so I thought he was pretty clever. The southwest corner, we can't go into lot 7, so we'll make adjustments to that. But I think everything else that's shown here, we could probably do.
Oh.
So it has a nice. Also, what he is suggesting is that it's really a three-way intersection with a driveway.
Yeah.
And then the driveway would be into the parking lot to the south of the apartments. So,
Would everyone have a stop sign in that configuration?
yes, everyone has a stop sign.
Seems like a lot of cars coming in and out that.
Microphone? Sorry.
It just seems like a lot of cars coming out all at once for work and coming home from work. And that if they're all stop signs, it seems like there might be a backup here or there.
Queuing, right?
Do we have a traffic consultant on this one?
A what?
A traffic, someone, we didn't look at the traffic when this first came through. Is this something we want to
Well, we
send
didn't have a
back?
traffic study at this intersection. Of course, we had it on, coming out.
Brendan, Fitzgerald, HB.
There's over 370 feet of stacking, but, it's a valid point. I can have Chris take a look at it, and, give the level of service on it. But, this gets approved by the fire chief, the four-way.
Well, only
Except-
because
Yeah.
the planning board said that.
Sorry?
I was just saying that it's being approved by the fire chief because the planning board made that a condition of approval. But, yeah, you can talk offline.
Well, we could talk separately about if it needs to be four-way like stop or three-way stop, or one could be a through. I don't know about that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Chris should do, an analysis on it and make recommendations.
They could look at it quick. I mean, Bonnie's office has traffic people in it. They could look at it like quick, right?
Right, yeah.
Just make a recommendation or work with these guys. So
We
it
were
seemed-
thinking, the through drive coming up from 9.
From St. Andrews through, right, Carroll's.
Well, from Route
From
9.
9.
Oh.
Yeah, from Route 9 coming up, and no stop sign there, and going through.
Yeah.
Maybe Chris should put a quick memo together, and then we could shoot it by our traffic engineers.
Yeah, just make a proposal, and then, I
Yeah.
mean, it's gonna be like a four-way, just how it's, controlled is just what we gotta.
Yeah, yeah,
So it's
it-
gonna be, like Dan's gonna, get what he needs, and then it's just a matter of figuring out, the stop controls, right?
And then has Tad weighed in on whether this needs a site plan amendment, or, I guess it
needs to be on the final set that's.
needs to be on the
Yeah,
final
it's gonna be,
set.
yeah, it's
Okay.
gonna be on the final set
Yeah.
that's signed.
Be slightly different traffic conditions before and after the connection to the other
Yes, that is
entrance
correct.
as well.
Right. So make sure you note that when you make the connection. So that was one of the 19 comments, and we, and the architect was there, all of us were there, and it was a very, very productive call and work session, and the way it was left, Michael Lawson and everybody on board, we just were all on the right page on not only the building issues, but the site issues. One thing that this plan does show you too is to the left, he wanted a turnaround at the end of that. And I said, well, you have a turnaround. You just go in the parking lot and you turn around. And he said, no. I want to turn around at the end of the drive. So we gave him a hammerhead. He said, no, don't like
What's
hammer.
a circular one?
He wanted a circle.
So
that's
there
a-
he wants a roundabout.
Well, that's not a roundabout.
It's not a
That's-
roundabout.
That's
It's a
temporary
temporary.
gravel,
How
circle.
big is it in
How
diameter?
96-foot diameter.
Exactly.
That's what Appendix D requires, and that's what Dan asked for.
Can the one on this side become 96?
Well,
Would
again.
96 be the number that works for him?
No, but then you wouldn't have, there's.
That's just a temporary one, right?
Yeah,
To-
yeah, that's
to
a
the
temporary
left.
one,
That's
but.
just temporary.
But to your point, getting 85 feet, barely fits.
Okay, all right.
And it just, I mean, we're putting walls down.
Yep.
We're gonna be
Yep.
in lot 7. It just.
And it's not a flat lot.
The issue
and
with
it's not flat, it just doesn't fit the way
85
it
is what
should
you can
fit.
fit.
It should be 125, it should be a flat piece of property. We shouldn't have lot 7, butting right up against, or the slope going down to the wetland.
Can I ask a question, though? There's another roundabout, right? Isn't there another roundabout just?
Phase 2A on the southwest,
Yeah.
southeast side.
Yeah, that was intended to be just a temporary thing until we figured it out, but we ended up keeping it, and nobody said anything about it, but.
Yeah.
how big is that one?
I don't recall, but.
Oh, yeah.
But
Chewing it up, too.
the other issue with this one is all the ways coming in and all the islands and all that, and they're too tight.
There's a lot of.
And the other roundabout, I don't think the fire trucks need access on that to service
Right,
the
they don't.
townhomes that are there right
Yeah,
now.
they don't.
So that
They
might have
don't.
been part of their decision there, I'm not sure.
But the condos eventually, right?
Eventually the condos.
Yes, eventually the
Now,
condos.
the road will
which-
continue through and it might change from a roundabout to something
Yeah.
else, we'll have to.
Or you might have more space to work
Yeah.
with. Two things that I want to push on a little bit here. One is with lot 7. So the issue there is essentially just time spent, right? Because you're talking about an easement or an adjustment to the subdivision, something along those lines, right?
Yeah, and I don't know exactly how that's going to develop out, so we're guessing. I would rather stay off of it.
You'd rather, okay.
Yeah,
But it's not impossible.
It's not impossible.
Yeah. And then the other thing is that to sort of piggyback on Rob there, the center, I understand in a lot of circumstances the concern about people driving straight over the middle of a mountable roundabout, but we're talking like in a development with going to be like passenger cars and such. And if you have you're not getting semis coming through here like you are in 55, right? So, or even Raymond. So if you have a curb that is mountable by a fire truck, it's just not going to be like
no mountable curbs. He doesn't want them.
He doesn't want even mountable curb.
Doesn't want them. He says it chews up the tires on the truck.
For the one time he ever has to go in there. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so but suppose it does come up a degree or two, and just mounts, slightly mounts, and it's drivable.
He's not okay with it, that's the issue.
I mean, that's how,
Well,
I've seen Arlington Fire Department go over top of the,
That's why
the
they're
mountable ones on, like
They
Raymond,
drive-
they do it all
But
the time.
Yeah, they drive over everything.
I think we can come up with something, with Dave taking a look at it, that's very attractive. It's not a roundabout,
Yeah.
but.
Dylan,
The main
Dylan
thing
is
is
right
it was a
about
focal point, like
lot
we made it
7.
like a focal point. The building was turned for that to fit, it became like a part of the structure itself.
It'll still be, can you go back to the?
I just want to remind the board, the applicant took the risk of subdividing before we had all the approvals lined up. This was always a possibility that they would have to amend
But that
lot
other one-
lines or
The other one,
extend.
could you slide it to
Lot
the
7?
south?
You referring to lot 7?
Could you slide the
I'm
circle?
saying in general, yeah.
Yeah, well, lot
Yeah.
7 and lot 8, right? I mean,
Yeah.
they're both subdivided.
Well, lot 8, to be subdivided.
Right, but it's,
Is this the one you wanted?
Yeah, well, see, you can see the lot 8 there and how that sidewalk goes in there. The way he wants it, we can make work. And You know,
And traffic, except for the traffic.
if he would have
Well, they're
said,
gonna
if he would have
explore the traffic.
said,
They're
you know,
gonna see
it
what it
works,
does.
it's fine, I'm okay just the way it is, you know, then that would have been it. It would have been as presented. We're responding to something he's pushed back hard on.
Right.
Sure. It just feels like there are a couple other things that we could be considering here, and working with Lot 7 is one of them. So I hear you that you think you can make this look good, and I'm looking forward to seeing it, by all means. But I think this is a loss for the look and feel of the project, and I also, like others, I have some, you know, I want to see the traffic, you know, memo on that and see what that looks like. I have some concerns about that. So yeah.
And you're saying, Larry, you can't move that south. You can't move the circle south.
Nope.
No.
South of that goes
Lot.
up at 8%. You know, the grade is too steep. Again, this is on, you know, a grade like that. You know, we're trying to do this, and we got to catch grade both sides.
And we're coming up on the main entrance road too. The challenge with these circles is it's an 85-foot circle, but your crosswalks are offset even further from that because you have the triangular islands, and your crosswalk could only be at 2%. We usually try and make them 1.5%, and you can't be coming up at 10% and then just break grade to 1.5%. You got to have a vertical curve. So we were chasing the grade all the way down to the basically to the pump station to make the 85-foot work, and that's tying into existing, so we really don't have the latitude to make the bigger circle.
Well, we've been staring at that circle for 2 iterations of site
Yeah,
plan, so
yeah, no, we,
it's kind of surprising.
We fought, I
know.
I fought, I said, we like it.
Yeah.
So, but when you look at the auto turn for his very large fire truck, and that's a big one, it's just too tight.
Yeah.
And then as he kept pushing, we looked, and I finally said, look, we'll look at the four-way. That's
All right,
where
so you have a meeting with Dan tomorrow, right?
No, we're submitting response to comments, his 19 comments, and that was tomorrow. And included in that was the alternate four-way.
Well, why don't you go ahead and submit it to him, and then
Yeah.
in the meantime, you know, we'll work together on some things. And
Yeah, if we can come up with something that, you know, works within this, you know, we can submit that.
I think the four-way stop is going to work even with the staging of the cars. If you think of Eastdale on the east side, there's there's 2 four-way stops in there. And the
Coming
amount
off of 44?
Coming off of 44, you go into the main drag at Eastdale. There's a four-way stop right ahead of you, then you get down to the medical building, there's another stop sign. And the amount of cars that are back there, I don't ever see any backing up.
Okay.
It's all out on Route 44, right?
Right, right.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah, I think it's gonna work for you guys.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Don.
Yeah.
Yeah, then the other 19 comments, we got through most of them, but again, what was interesting about doing the auto turn for the fire truck, he wanted you take the truck and add additional 3 feet on it for a buffer. So, you throw that in there too. Could not go underneath the canopy of a tree because the trucks are big.
We've had that one before us many times.
And so we're changing the species or moving the tree. All the signs had to be in because when that truck swings, you know, it's going to hit a sign. And he was so concerned, he took the dimensions of the roundabout and coned it out at his station. And it was just too tight. So.
Okay.
So, look, if it was 125, if it fit, you know,
we wouldn't be having this discussion.
This wouldn't be an issue.
Yeah.
The Raymond one is 112, it looks like. Well, not quite 125.
Which one?
Where it meets Hooker?
Next.
Yeah,
not where it meets
measured-
Hooker, at
No,
the,
I measured-
Institute.
I measured 115, so you got 112
Yeah, okay,
on it.
sure, I just
Yeah,
did it on
yeah.
the computer.
Okay, now they do have one that's 85.
But that's because the fire truck can't get into the campus that way anyway, right?
Right,
So-
right, and the other side's a driveway.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
so that's why that one goes down. You know, you'll see in the comments, but there was one comment on emergency radio transponders. If they're not working properly and we got to add a radio tower, you know, it's going to be on top of it's going to be in the back of the building, you know, but, you know, so he wanted to make sure the planning board knew if it didn't work, we'd have to add a radio tower. So you'll see that in there.
We'll put a note on the cover sheet for that.
Yep.
Some striping he wanted a lot of information on the loading area, access to and from the garbage areas and how that gets handled and loaded, because he doesn't want it, you know.
That transmitter, that is also for 911 calls if people are on trails and stuff? I mean, you have coverage, I think. Your site was okay. Isn't there something on the hotel or something?
No.
No?
No. We talked about it, but we didn't put anything up
Okay,
there.
but I thought you have reception there. It's unlike the site across the way. They have.
We have reception.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the CIA had the problem, right?
Yeah,
Right.
I know that,
And
but I
NRI
think they
did,
always
yep.
said that they have it over at Belfield, but I'm just saying, there's gonna be trails and stuff, so that's the time to look at that.
We're fine with all our communication on site. The only place I lose it is when I go through Poughkeepsie. I lose it a little bit. Maybe because I live there.
Yeah.
So, he wanted us to make sure and note on the plan that the project will be compliant with NFPA 13 and not 13A. Most residential projects would be 13R. Thank you, Jared. But not in this case. With this building here, it has to be 13. So we're making the note. And there was some initial pushback in the beginning, but 13 it is. Venting the garage, wanted to make sure he understood how that was happening, whether it was going through the building, and it's not. It's being vented through the perimeter. We talked about the updated energy code and EV charging stations. The energy code may require some EV charging capability inside the garage, and if so, we need to indicate it. Yes. And you'll see all these, we'll address it to you, and then into Cynthia and circulate it. But thank you for having us.
Yeah, I thought it was important that everybody
Yeah.
hear about
Yep.
the roundabout early.
Yeah, thank you. And then an offline meeting, maybe? Thoughts on
Oh,
that?
yeah, to talk about the pond?
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, fine. Let us know who you would like, and we'll pull it together.
Okay, so we'll get you a date next week, maybe?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, terrific. Anything else?
I don't think so. Anybody have any other comments about what they've heard? Okay.
Sorry you're going through that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it'll be, by the time we get it done, it'll be about 2 months. And I've done a lot of projects with Dan, and we, like that, get it approved, but it's the massiveness of the building. And like we were talking, when you call 911 and you need a fire truck, they're sending
They're sending their big guns to this
their big
site.
guns first. And
Yep.
he wants to make sure they get in there.
Yep, understood.
Okay?
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody.
Have a good night.
You too.
Thank you.
See ya.
Okay, our next item is carriage trails, also known as Crofton Mews. I see a very patient gentleman in the back. Come on up, George.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
very entertaining and informative.
A lot of stuff going on.
So we are
You've
entertained.
enjoyed your last 3 hours, then. That's good.
So, resolution to change conditions of site plan approval.
It is before us.
I reviewed it. It's consistent with what we discussed previously.
Yep, I saw the back and forth as we tweaked it, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I gave Cynthia 2 copies of the revised plan set, N1, and at appropriate time, Pete and Ted can review that and make sure that it's consistent with the resolution. It'll save me having to mail it back. If it's not consistent, you'll let us know and we'll have to revise it.
Okay,
Okay?
excellent. Any comments, Tad?
No.
Bonnie?
No.
Pete?
Nope.
And all is good. Victoria? Okay. Mr. Tuttle?
No comments. Are we
Okay.
doing comments, or
No,
we
just
go ahead and
if
read
there
it?
were, I mean, if anybody had any questions or comments,
Nope.
now is the
No.
time.
No
No comment.
Okay.
No comment.
Then I believe we have a resolution prepared. Madam Secretary has a comment.
Well, Crofton Boulevard was switched to Crofton Street, so.
Oh, right.
Down here.
No longer a boulevard. Got it.
Oh, because it didn't have an outlet, right, or something like that?
Yes.
Okay, that's the only mention of it, right? Just the one place?
I think so.
It is
Yeah,
Crofton
there it
Street
is.
up above. Okay.
Good catch. All right, now we have a resolution.
All right, this is a bit of a funny resolution. It has some multiple spots for further resolving.
The last 2.
Yeah, okay, we'll skip through it. Great. Okay, second resolution to amend the conditions of approval of the special use permit and mitigation plan set. Resolution number 16-36GO, whereas. Now therefore be it further resolved that the planning board hereby modifies the sixth.
Isn't there one before? No?
No, that's the original.
Oh,
It is,
thank
it
you.
is bolded in that way, but that is what we are changing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Now therefore be it further resolved that the planning board hereby modifies the sixth resolved clause in the resolution to read as follows. Be it further resolved that A, the zoning administrator may authorize the issuance of foundation permits for non-combustible construction other than temporary concrete forms, but such permits may be revoked if the zoning administrator receives notification in writing from the Roosevelt Fire District that the applicant has not complied with the requirement to replace the existing dry hydrant at the Crum Elbow Creek by April 1st, 2026. And B, prior to the zoning administrator authorizing issuance of a building permit for any structure on the site or issuance of a building permit by the town for other than non-combustible foundations, the applicant shall provide confirmation that the performance guarantee for Crofton Street has been accepted by the town and is in effect. Be it further resolved that the planning board hereby authorizes and directs the applicant to amend sheet N1.0 of the mitigation plan set notes under issuance of building permits as follows. 1. Amend note number 1 to state, prior to the issuance of any building permit other than foundation permits for non-combustible construction, the applicant shall post the road bond for Crofton Street. 2. Amend note number 2 to state, subject to approval by the town engineer and Roosevelt Fire District, the binder course is not required for issuance of building permits provided that acceptable emergency access is provided. 3. Add note number 3 to state, confirmation that fire hydrants have been installed and are in working order, except that non-combustible construction of foundations only without working fire hydrants is permitted, subject to review by the Roosevelt Fire District and Town of Hyde Park Building Inspector. 4. Amend sheet N1.0. Amended sheet N1.0 shall be initialed by the chairperson with a notation that sheet N1.0 was amended per this resolution and appended to the mitigation plan set.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any nays or abstentions? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your
Thank you.
patience.
You're missing an N, George, sorry. On the second.
It's for non-construction, and it says
Non-combustible.
Thank you. All right, thanks.
almost one.
Oh, one N.
Almost did it.
Almost.
I'll send you 2 copies.
Almost.
He has street road.
All right. right. Now we are on to more other business. Fortuna Realty wall signs. Sign permit recommendation from our zoning administrator for 2 wall signs. Mr. V, I believe you have it.
I do.
Hi, Kate. Any comments?
Me?
Yeah. No.
No.
Good.
Past my bedtime.
Resolution recommending issuance of sign permit for Fortuna Realty. Resolution 2026-01, whereas, now therefore be resolved that the planning board recommends the approval of the sign permit for Fortuna Realty as presented with the sign permit application dated January 15th, 2026, last revised January 29th, 2026.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any nays or abstention? Motion carries unanimously. The next item on the agenda is another sign permit recommendation for a freestanding sign. The zoning administrator has given her recommendation. Ms. Lee, I believe you have this one.
I do. Resolution for recommendation of issuance of a sign permit for freestanding sign at 4312 Albany Post Road. Resolution number 2026-02, whereas, be it resolved, the planning board hereby recommends the zoning administrator issue the freestanding sign permit for tenants Thomas W. Bauer, CPA, and Diane Crittenden, Realtors, as submitted by Riverwood Signs by Dandev Design on January 23rd, 2026, revised February 3rd, 2026.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any nays or abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Looks nice. And I believe I would like to ask for a, is this a motion? This is a motion, right? A motion to, that we will ask the, sorry.
To authorize you to sign the lead agency consent form for DCWWA.
Yes, so I would like to sign a consent form that we would like the DCWWA to be lead agency on 2 projects, the Quaker Hills interconnection to Hyde Park Regional Water Service and capital improvements for the Hyde Park Regional Water System.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion is carried. Now, may I get a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Did we just do both of those?
Yeah.
There were-
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
two-
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
She threw
Missed
it
that.
together in
Yep,
one.
okay.
Yep.
Double stuff.
Rob and Chris, my motion to adjourn. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. So today is Tad's birthday.
Today's
and I
Tad's
brought-
birthday.
Today is Tad's
And I
birthday.
brought